And we are looking for opposition. Of course, anybody that voted for Trump, anybody that has an issue with the LGBT plus community, you're welcome to come on up, okay? Hello, how are you? Alright, guys, we'll give it a minute before we bring up a guest. Let's just try to get some of the likes on up. If you guys can get the shares on up as well. And again, if you can send in the heart me, that would be great, okay? Hey, Andrea, good morning. Thank you. And guys, remember, you need to be 18. If you're gonna troll, you're gonna be kicked incredibly quickly, so you might as well just not. Make sure you provide sources if you make very specific claims. All right, let's see here. We'll bring up this guest, but they're almost certainly going to be a troll. But let's just... if they're even still in the live. Hello. What's up?
Hello.
Hey, how old are you?
Okay, wait.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
All right, and did you vote for Trump?
Wait, hold on. My fan. Wait. Okay. Say it again.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the LGBT plus community?
I think the gays, the lesbians, and whatever, like that, they're just not it. I don't think transgender people should be entering the bathroom stall of the gender they're like transgender to.
Why? What's the harm of that?
Because if you're like a 50-year-old man, right, and you want to become a woman, you're gonna enter the woman bathroom stall. There's like 8-year-olds, like little girls. Do you think that's okay?
Well, what's wrong about it? Tell me the harm.
What's wrong about it? Do you even know what the transgenders, you will say, will do to the little girls?
Transgender people. So are you saying it's because there's old, what you view as men in there around little girls? Is that
Wait,
why?
hold on.
I just want to make sure. What's that?
If I can... Wait, imagine if I'm 50 years old, right? I'm not, okay? Imagine. And I'm a man. I'm a grown-ass man, okay? I'm a male, and I want to be a transgender. I want to...
Well,
like
they're
turn
not wanting to be
into
transgender. They are
into a
transgender,
woman,
but
okay?
Uh-huh.
I want to turn into a woman, all right?
Okay.
Can I enter the bathroom stall of like females, where little girls are, 8-year-old girls?
Yeah. So how's that any different than you being around little boys in the men's restroom?
Because
What's the
that's like
difference?
that's not even like, if you're a transgender, like that, they just want like, the most pedophiles aren't even gay,
Huh?
Most pedophiles aren't even gay.
What does that have to do with anything?
A lot, dude.
You said they're not gay. Yeah, they're not gay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But what I'm asking, tell me the difference between a trans woman going into the women's restroom and being around little girls and a man being in the men's restroom around little boys.
Wait, what do you mean?
Different?
So a woman, like,
just bear with me. It's not that hard to grasp it, dude. What a trans woman? It's not a trans woman being in the. Dude, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to grasp this. Like, come on. Then you're a fucking. Then you're a fucking idiot. Then you're a fucking.
You're a fucking faggot. You're a fucking faggot. Fuck you, fucking faggot. Fucking bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah, it's really not that difficult, guys. All right, disagreeing one thing, whatever. I mean, not whatever, but like, it's really not that fucking hard. Like, you can be like 6-year-olds and fucking understand that. Hey, how you doing? What's up, man? Okay, you gonna run? You were in the comments. You there, man? Hey, Wes going once. Wes going twice. Goodbye. I don't know. Wasn't he saying stuff in the comments? I think, right? No. Yeah, he was. We hate the agenda. I don't introduce myself and say I'm a heterosexual. Right, and I don't know anybody who introduced themselves and says they're gay. I don't know anyone that does that, really. All right. Well, keep tapping and sharing, everybody. Hoping everybody's having a good Friday morning so far. Um, I'm not on a time limit today. I don't need to get back to the gym for clients anytime soon, so I have a while. But if you guys can send in the heart me, click that at the top left. Remember, like the first 5-10 minutes of the live seems to be pretty important to getting on the FYP. So if you guys can kind of do all those things, send in the heart me, like the live. You guys want to help reach a gift goal, stuff like that. It does help. Obviously, the more people we have in here, the more guests we can have up, more debates we have, and the more you guys can watch. What about propaganda? Tell us all about it.
Hello,
Hello.
sir. How's your day going, bro?
It's
What's up?
going. How old are you? I just need to know your age. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Okay. And did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
All right. What are your views on the LGBT plus community?
I just don't think it's I don't like the LGBTQ community.
Why not?
Well, because we've got men playing in women's sports, we've got minors getting gender affirming care, we got these pride parades, we got men walking around naked, and I just think it's a
I don't
bunch
know
of.
about that. Okay. Well, let's address that.
I do know about that.
All right. We'll address that one at a time. That's fine. Trans women playing with women in sports and trans men playing with men. What's the issue with that?
Yeah, so trans women are biological men, therefore they have an advantage over biological women. So
You
when
mean
they play
males?
in women's sports,
Slow down. So they're male, not biological men. They're males. Most of them are born as males.
trans
right?
women are men. They are born as
Male.
men.
No. No one's born as a man. You're not born as a man.
Okay, they're born as a male.
Sure. They're born as a
Okay,
male.
and
Okay.
therefore males have a biological advantage over women.
Okay, but they have to go on TRT or not TRT? They have to go on HRT for 2+ years though to be able to play in these sports. And all the research shows. Oh, hold on, slow down. All the research shows, and we even see this in real, actual real life, that there is no advantage to it. We don't see trans women coming in first place at any higher rates than
Yes,
cis
we
women.
do actually.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Prove it.
Want to get some examples?
Nope. Examples don't prove the data.
Yes, I do.
No, they don't. I don't understand.
Yes,
I don't think you know how data. Hey, I don't think you know how data works because for every hold on, slow down. For every trans woman that you mentioned that's come in first, I can mention many cis women that have come in first. That doesn't prove the data. I want you to show that trans women come in first place at higher rates than cis women. Sure. Higher rates. So you telling me an individual person doesn't show that.
Well, I can tell you that trans women have it already. They already start off when they play. They already have a biological advantage over the other women.
Yeah, so show me the data.
Regular women.
Yeah, that's fine. So show me the data.
Sure.
All right. What advantage do they have that another cis woman can have that same advantage over another cis woman?
They actually have 30-60% more upper body strength. It gives them a lot more muscle
But again,
mass.
They have to be on HRT for 2+ years, so it gets rid of these advantages. And even if you're going to say the data says otherwise. But however, though, even if there is a small advantage, there's already advantages between cis women anyways. There's more advantages between cis women than there are between men and women, if that makes sense. Meaning, there's more. Make sense, I know it doesn't make sense. There are more variations within the sex than there are between sexes. Meaning the top strongest women are much stronger than the bottom women in terms of traits compared to between men and women, if that makes sense. There's more variations between sexes than there are between sexes.
So you think that HRT gets rid of all these advantages?
The data says otherwise. The data says so, and then again, when we look at actual real life, we don't see trans women coming in first place at any
muscle
higher
mass
rates.
Only drops around 5% after 1 year.
Once again. Well, first of all, it has to be for 2 years. And once again, I just want, if what you're saying is true, why don't you just show me the data that trans women come in first place at higher of a rate? That would totally get rid of my argument. You would totally defeat me with that. That's all you need. You don't need anything else.
There aren't many cases of trans women playing in men's sports because right now it doesn't happen. It does happen. At times it does happen. I can give you some examples of when it has happened.
But there's enough to have at least some data on this.
So
I know you want to give examples. I know it. Hey,
as soon as he transitioned into the women's league, she became an NCAA national.
Stop. Examples don't prove the rule. They don't prove the data. Okay. You saying Leah Thomas, first of all, Leah Thomas didn't come in first overall. It doesn't. You don't know how data works. You don't know how data works. Are we going to have a conversation or are you just going to do this? Can we have a conversation? Okay.
Sure.
Okay. But anecdotes don't prove data. You have to be able to realize that.
No, well, my point is that as soon as that the mid-level male swimmer transitioned into a woman,
Cool.
and played in the women's league, she won.
Okay, great. So once again,
he
I'm glad that you're appropriately
So-
giving her the right pronouns. Thank you. However, though, just show me data that trans women come in first place at a higher rate. Guys, we can get to new guests at 15,000 likes. By the way, we are looking for opposition. Yeah.
So
again,
we want
but Leah Thomas didn't come in first overall. I want you to show that
she won the NCAA national champion.
No, she didn't come in first overall.
Yes, she did. She won the NCAA national champion.
Incorrect.
After being many
incorrect.
top female swimmers.
Incorrect.
What do you mean incorrect?
Incorrect. Show me it.
I'm reading it off of Grok right now.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
Leah Thomas did not come in first overall.
She did. She won the NCAA national champion.
You're talking about one event that Leah Thomas came in
it's
first.
Not one
overall.
It's not one event.
Yeah. Yes, Leah Thomas came in like 5th or 6th place overall.
She beat many top.
Again, I really appreciate it that you're giving her the right pronouns. It's very nice of you. How woke.
It's really confusing. I'm not doing it intentionally.
Can you show me data that trans women come in first place at higher of a rate than cis women do? I've asked you this like 7 times. Cool. Go ahead and get it.
Okay.
Go ahead and ask Rock, since that seems to be what you do to look up stuff.
So what I'm getting at though, what do you think cheating is? Can you define cheating in a sport?
Well, cheating would be defined by the rules. That would be very subjective. Meaning, if the rules allowed steroids, steroids wouldn't be cheating.
Oh shoot! I run out of my plan on Grok.
How convenient. Anyways, cheating is very subjective. It depends on the rules. Like, if the rules said, like, hey, you can't have caffeine, and somebody had caffeine, then that would be cheating by the rules. So, are you talking about by the rules what's cheating, or just like ethically what's cheating? Because that's a different topic or different.
Well, do you think using an unfair advantage to other people is cheating?
Well, well, again, they're actually doing the opposite. They're being on HRT to get rid of their advantages. Trans women.
Wait, I think I found something.
Okay.
It says transgender people are 4 times. Oh no, never mind.
If you guys are joining live, click the follow button on the top left. If you're watching on the tube, good morning. Make sure you subscribe to me if you're joining live.
I see this.
Go ahead.
So if you had a daughter, would you want your daughter playing in the same league as another man who's a lot stronger than her, who has more bone density than her, and more testosterone than her?
Well, she wouldn't be playing with another man. She would be playing with another woman. But if she was in professionals, if she wasn't professional sports, I'd be very proud of my daughter, regardless. The fact that she made it to a professional sport, that'd be amazing.
Would you want her playing against other men that have a biological advantage over her, or would you want her to be playing against other women? Don't you think it'd be more fair if she's playing against other women?
Yeah, she is. Yeah, trans women are women.
No, they're not women. They're biological men.
No, biological just means living. So you're just saying
they're born as men. They're born as men.
Again, no one's born as a man. You mean male.
They're born as males.
Okay. Once again, I don't know. We keep going circular with this whole thing.
If you're born as a male, you have the natural advantage over women.
Okay. This is a very circular conversation at this point. I don't know how many times we have to go around to this. Again, when they go on HRT, the data shows that these advantages dissipate to non-statistical differences.
No, the HRT doesn't make the advantage disappear completely.
Non-statistical differences. There's already differences in sports, dude. If you want to watch something where it's completely fair, you shouldn't be watching sports. I hate to break it to you, man. Sports is not for you. There are inherent advantages within people for any sport, right? Somebody who's 7'2" in basketball is going to have an inherent advantage over someone who's 6'2", right? By your own luck, but then it's not about advantages. Then don't lie to me and say it's about advantages. You just want people with one sex to play with another sex.
Yes,
but it has nothing. But for no reason. But for no reason other than that's what we've always done. It has nothing to do with advantages. That's a lie. It's a surface level excuse. That's what it is.
So you support the National Football League having men and women in it?
Having men and women in it?
Yeah. Do you support women playing in the National Football League?
Yeah, why not?
If you don't care about sexes playing in the same sports, in the same leagues. You would support
Well,
women
listen, I
playing in
think,
the National Football League.
but no, hold on. I think there should be separation between things and stuff like that, but I don't think it should be based on just something arbitrary as sex. I think a better way of doing it probably would be based off someone's like, and there's always going to be advantages. So even with what I'm about to say is like, go ahead and create a totally fair playing field, but maybe one's hormone levels. That might be a better way of doing it. That would probably create a somewhat better, fairer playing field, going off of just hormone levels rather than something arbitrary such as sex.
So do you think, would you support women playing in the National Football League or not?
Yeah, so by what I just suggested, I would say again, somebody who has similar testosterone levels should play with each other, and then they should probably like separate based off something like that. That'd probably be a better
Yeah,
way of going
yeah.
about it.
I don't think. I disagree. I think women and men should have separate leagues.
But for no reason
Like,
other than that's what we've always done.
yeah, that's exactly. That's what we've always done, and I feel
Yeah,
like
you know,
separate
we always
sexes
did.
should be in a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
league.
we
They're
always did.
men and women
We
are completely
we always
different in
did
a bunch of
slavery.
ways.
We always did slavery. We always did slavery for a long time. We
Men and
should have
women
kept
are completely men and women are
Ben. Hey,
completely
hey, hey,
different.
hey,
There's a
hey,
bunch of
hey, hey,
differences between
hey,
men and
hey,
women.
hey, hey, hey. Jesus
You don't have to yell,
Christ!
Jason, right here.
You just nonstop keep going. We did slavery for the longest time. That excuse at the time was, well, we always did it. We should keep doing that. So that excuse
The
isn't
slavery
really
is a
good.
lot different. There's a
Well,
clear difference
yes,
between slavery.
slavery and sports are different things. Yes,
Exactly. Yeah. So you
thank you
can
for
tell there's a
acknowledging.
huge
No,
difference.
Ben, I don't understand how you didn't get the analogy. The point was that your excuse that this is what we've always done is not a valid response.
But it doesn't harm anybody though.
Which
So
doesn't harm
slavery was
anybody.
clearly bad, right? It was clearly
Guys,
bad. A lot of
15,000
people got
likes, new
harmed.
guest. 15,000 likes, new guest. What?
Slavery was clearly bad, right?
Slavily?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can't say the word. I can't say the word,
Yeah.
but this phrase, yeah, it was clearly bad. But
Mhm.
men, two separate sexes playing in two different leagues doesn't have any harm.
Listen, dude. First of all, the only reason why you're saying, and number one, actually, first of all, yeah, you just got kicked. Tammy, thank you so much. Tammy, thank you for the 20 on the blue app with V. I really appreciate you, Tammy. W Tammy in the comments that says, annoying the shit. He's annoying the shit out of me. Well, imagine how I feel talking to him. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. W Tammy in the comments. All right. We are looking for ops, okay? Ops, of course, anybody who voted for Trump, or even if you did vote for Trump, but you have some sort of issue with the LGBT plus community, you can come on up, okay? If you're joining live, click the follow button on the top left on TikTok. If you're watching on the tube, if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. If you guys don't know what any of the letters mean, go ahead and look it up. Google is your best friend. If you truly care, you would have looked it up by now. Let's get to the next guest here. Loading. Yeah, if you guys can also send that heart me that was just sent there too, that'd be great. That's the top left. You guys, we're only looking for opposition, okay? So if you are a friendly and you agree with me, I'm going to ask that you please drop from the request box. I am fine having somebody up here, though, who's a part of the LGBT plus community. I just have to know who you are. It can't be a random person. Sorry. Just somebody who I've had up in the past. You are welcome to come up. Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate it. All right.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Denise. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I was just gonna say, um, it's hard to put it in words, but with the what they're teaching in elementary school, junior high, and high school
Okay.
is completely different from. Of course, I'm old. Uh, they used to teach a curriculum. Now they're teaching what would you call it? A way of life.
Okay. What would be an example of this?
Well, um, when you're a kid, you go, "Oh, I want to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor." Now they're saying, "Okay, I want to be a boy. I want to be a girl."
Who's teaching that?
Well, I believe wholeheartedly the teachers are
Do you have any
by
examples?
curriculum.
Do you have any?
By curriculum.
I understand that's what's being spread on social media. I understand that. I would like for you to give me an example of that, though, because
Mm,
that's just fear mongering misinformation. Now, if you can give me an example, then we can go from there.
Well, I really can't. I'm sorry, but thank you for bringing me up.
Take care, Denise.
Okay.
That was a quick loss. Okay. Conceded very quickly there. Yeah, RJ, what was that? I've never heard anyone concede that quickly. That was too easy. That was scarily too easy. All right. Good morning, guys. Well, good morning for next 21 minutes on the East Coast. If you guys are enjoying live, click the follow button on the top left. If you guys can keep tapping, get those taps on up, that'd be great. It really helps get people into the live, and again, we'll have more guests that way. If you can send in the heart me as well there at the top left, that really does help. And that's just for people on TikTok. If you're watching on YouTube, I don't really think there's a whole lot you can do. Just watch, like the live, subscribe if you want, all that good stuff. 440 for you. Oh yeah, I forgot. There are people who don't live in America. Sometimes I forget that. My very American-focused mindset. Just automatically assume everybody lives in America. No, Taylor, I am. You worked for Dems for years. You have no idea how much they manipulate. Well, give us an example. It sounds like you have firsthand experience. Surely you'd be able to give us an example, Ashley, of how they quote unquote manipulate. I would love to see that. Let's get to the next guest, though. Oh wait, she actually accepted it. I'm very surprised. That almost never happens. Hey, Ashley, how you doing?
Hey,
Hey, I just need to know your age before we move forward. How old are you?
35.
Cool. And you said you worked for Dems for years. What are some examples of manipulation in
Sure.
relation to this
So,
topic?
yeah. So, like, just for example, like, my father, I'm from Minnesota. So, my father, I grew up working with him and watching him work with Paul Wellstone,
Okay.
amazing Democrat,
Okay.
hardcore, that we love him in Minnesota. But then in my 20s, I started working for the DNC, so the Democratic National Committee,
Okay.
and then the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee.
Okay.
And the things that you would see behind the scenes, I think I started around 2014 or 2015, so
Okay.
like the height of BLM and stuff.
Okay. So
And
I don't
I
mean to
would
rush
work.
you, but can you if you can just get to the specific part of it, that'd be great.
Sure. So working for Nancy Pelosi, and I would
Oh,
call on behalf of her, and we would try to get monetary, money, like, help and support for the Democrats. And watching where the money went after I would do all this hard work it would go straight into Nancy Pelosi's pocket. None of this stuff and none of this money would go to the corporations and organizations that we were calling for. And that was kind of like my first deterrence that I learned in my mid-20s of the Democrats.
okay. A couple of things. One, I am not a Nancy Pelosi fan for one, and two, I do have heavy criticism towards Democrats. But thirdly, really to your point, do you have any like evidence of the things just going straight into her pocket versus what
Yeah, I know
they
that's kind of
claimed?
hard because this was like 10 years ago now. So yeah,
Okay.
I don't have any of that.
Okay.
It's just my word, and obviously, like, you can't take my word for it, but just my experience.
Yeah, I mean, why didn't you? Is there a reason why you didn't report it at the time?
Oh no, I totally did. Me and a couple people did, and eventually, the place that we were working for just went belly up because of that. And
Well,
yeah, it
then
was really heartbreaking because
why
I
didn't
was.
become bigger
I'm
news?
sorry.
Like why wasn't it like a news story? So if it went belly up because of that, shouldn't that have become a news story?
Totally agree. Absolutely, I have no idea.
What was it? I mean, if it went belly up, sure, like I would be able to look that up, right?
New Partners. It was a telecommunication company in Minnesota here.
New Partners Teleservices.
Yep.
Okay. How do I type in what? Like, I mean, is that gonna show any? Like, I don't think that's gonna show what we're looking for, though.
No, totally, and I
Uh,
get it. I really don't know if any of that's going to show up. This was like 10 years ago now. When
okay.
the Hillary Clinton and Trump was happening back in like 2015, 2016.
So are you a conservative now?
No, I'm not
Okay.
either.
Okay, guys, we can get to new guests at 20,000 likes. Did you vote in this last election?
I did.
Okay, who did you vote for?
I mean, I don't want you to like take this at face value, but I did vote for Trump, but I'm not a MAGA. I'm not a Trumper. I know that sounds pretty contradictory for sure.
Yes.
But it's
Well,
just the way I was feeling at the time.
Okay, so why did you vote for him?
It's so hard to explain. I don't know how to put it in like a confined paragraph for you, but like I just felt like regardless of what, and this sounds so bad, but regardless of what he was going to do, it was necessary for whatever he was going to do, bring out the truth and crap underneath and so to make it like everything aware for the people of the United States and the world, like, hey, this is the crap that we're dealing with now.
What do you mean? Like, what do you like? What's something
I guess like
specific?
the truth of everything, like the Democrats do a really good job of manipulating and hiding stuff, where like the Republicans aren't that good at that. And like I kind of just wanted their misgivings and miscomings to become public knowledge, which it has.
So,
it
sounds like what you would be, and I've spoken to a couple people like this, an accelerationist. Do you know that term?
Yes.
Is that what you would call yourself?
I don't know the term, but that sounds
Well,
pretty.
It's somebody who voted, at least in this specific example, voted for Trump on the hopes that it would speed things up to, like, say, like a revolution, for example, or that like things would come to light and that we would get better afterwards, something like that.
Sure. Okay. I guess
So
like
is that sort of where you're at?
Revolution
Is that
was
what?
inevitable.
What's that?
So I guess I felt like a revolution or whatever is occurring now is inevitable. Like the light is going to come out no matter what.
So if it's inevitable, then why did you not vote for the person who is just clearly better for, I mean, everything? I mean, whether we're talking about overseas issues, whether we're talking about domestic issues,
Sure.
human
So
rights
like,
issues. Why didn't you just vote for that person
example, for
instead?
me, like I don't feel like any politicians believe in any of that shit. Like they just don't care. They're all rich people. They're all like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. So like when I was voting for him, I don't know. Again, I see like a kind of like a broader perspective, an eagle eye view of everything. And I'm very like, I don't want to say like I'm spiritual, but like, I believe in kind of like, have you ever heard of like Project Bluebeam and stuff like that?
No, I have not. But hold on. So listen, I understand many politicians can be fake. I'm well aware of that. However, though, even with that being said, I think there still is clearly one party that is better for the people than the other, even if they could be a lot better.
Sure.
Right? I absolutely think Democrats, that, at the very least, what they're not doing is putting forward anti-LGBT plus legislation. They're not trying to take away health care from people. They're not, they're not doing a lot of shitty things that Republicans are doing. Now, could Democrats be better? Yes, but I don't see why, like, knowing that, why you just want to vote for the Democrat.
Totally
instead.
understand what you're saying. I guess like I'm the type of person where like, regardless of what the Democrats or whatever is saying in the public, I don't believe. They say a lot of things like, oh, we support gay rights, but like look at Biden, like 15 years before his, presidential shit. Like he is very anti-gay.
Well,
Obama was very anti-gay.
Well, he wasn't. Hold on, Obama wasn't anti-gay. He just wasn't at the time, and I suspect deep down he probably was totally okay with gay marriage. He probably just for political reasons couldn't speak out about it. I don't have any evidence of that. I just suspect that.
Sure.
However, though, Obama was never anti-gay. He just said he was for a civil union instead, because that's just sort of what was the talking point at the time. Whatever. I'm not defending him, but whatever. But Biden, I mean, he's an old white guy. What else do you expect?
Right. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, though, again, they're still not putting forward policies that are harming the LGBT plus community, right? Despite what you may say about this politician or that politician, they're just not doing that. And actions do speak louder than words.
I'm just not in those rooms. So like whatever the people or the public say, oh, this person's name is behind this or whatever, like I just don't believe it. Especially living in Minnesota, the shit that we've dealt with the last couple of years. I mean, with ICE and all this stuff, it's become extremely toxic here. I mean, the people in Minnesota are still amazing.
I know, but you voted for Trump. You helped make that happen. You partook in that.
Well, okay, so like I guess like I don't really disagree with like illegal immigrants that are rapists and stuff getting out of our country.
I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I don't know. I don't know anybody that would.
I come from an immigrant family. I'm only second generation American. So it sucks when you come to Minnesota and you see so many people who are given freebies just being immigrants here versus like my family had to work really hard to earn that. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Listen, I don't want to get too much into the immigration thing because it's going to get way off topic.
Right.
But
Sorry.
I don't think it's immigrants that are the ones harming the economy. I think it's the ultra rich that are, and the tax cuts on the ultra rich. They take a hell of a lot more money from you than any immigrant will ever in 20 lifetimes.
I mean, there's groups of immigrants here in Minnesota specifically that take billions of dollars. And that's just a group of people. I'm not saying it's like one
Billions?
specific immigrant, but it's
know about
hardcore
that,
here. It's hard.
Okay. All right. Anyways, back to the topic. And guys, I think I said 20,000 likes. No, guys, 20,000 likes. We are looking for opposition. So, but still, so what are your views on the LGBT plus community? Back to the topic.
I'm gay. I love gays.
You're gay.
You know?
Okay. So, but then why did you vote for someone who clearly has some issue with the LGBT plus community, right? I understand
So
it's more
kind of like
directed
what I
towards
said
trans
before,
people,
and like
but
it's really hard to like. I have a hard time articulating that I wasn't prepared to like, give you a full, I don't know. I was just saying that like I have an eagle-eyed perspective of like everything, like the macro perspective, and like this world, the light and the dark have been battling out for a few decades now with the patriarchy. And it's just eventually the shit was going to come out regardless.
I get all of that. Again, I am more than happy to criticize Democrats. I'm more than happy to do that. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that Trump clearly is putting more harm towards the LGBT plus community than Harris would have ever have done. And that should be obvious. Again, you can say, hey, maybe Harris doesn't actually care about them. Maybe not. I don't know. But we can clearly see that she was not going to put forward any executive orders against the community. And Democrats certainly weren't going to put anti-LGBT plus community towards anything at all.
Sure.
Like that we can agree on. And so like just knowing that alone, I'm not sure why you wouldn't have voted for her.
I mean, I feel like anything I say, it's going to paint me in a bad light, which is stupid. I really shouldn't care about what anybody's going to think about me, but I feel bad because I don't want anybody to think like I'm a woman hater. I am a woman, but like,
if everything that you say makes you look bad, do you think maybe that just the views you have are bad, or the actions that you did were bad?
No, it's because there's certain people that just don't understand that macro perspective. So they're going to sit here and judge because like certain people don't understand that these people do this for a purpose. The left versus the right, blue versus red, anything to divide and conquer us, where we need to all come together, know that everybody's lying, and just, the public can take over politics easy. We just choose not to, and it's weird.
All of that could be true while still voting for the person that poses less harm towards the community and other communities, for that matter. All of what you said could be true.
I guess at that point, I didn't agree with that. I thought Trump was... he was a Democrat. His whole cabinet was Democrats, Tulsi Gabbard, the Kennedys. The Kennedys specifically, that is literally the pinnacle of democracy.
But
so that was my perspective at the time.
Okay, but we're talking Trump running for the third time now. That thought process could have been valid in 2016, maybe. I would have given that to in 2016. 2024, no. No.
Okay.
There's no way that you thought that after him being president one time before and him being in the spotlight for 10 years prior to that. Again, in 2016, I could have granted you that. No.
Sure, you can grant me whatever. That's just what I believed at the time. You can't get mad at what I believe.
How did you believe, knowing Trump for 10 years, that all of a sudden he was just going to be for, giving trans people everything that they need and treating them the way that they should? And
trans is completely different conversations from gay people, and I'm talking about gay people here.
Man. All right. What is your issue with trans people?
I don't have any issue with trans people.
Okay, so why is it different? Why is it different?
I think gender-based things and sexuality-based things are two separate kind of situations.
Yeah, sex and gender are different. I agree.
For sure. So that's just, there's no issue or anything. In my definition, like that's just how I see it. I'd see sexuality and gender as completely different things.
Sexuality. Sexuality. Okay, I think that's sex. Yeah, sexuality. Well, yeah, sexuality and gender are different things, but I don't understand what that has to do with the topic.
Well, you asked on how I felt. That's just my opinion.
But what Do you have some sort of like problem with trans people in terms of like something that they want that you feel that they shouldn't get?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think everybody should have their own thing, do whatever they want to
Okay,
do.
so
As
you're
long as they're
okay.
not hurting themselves or other people, do you,
Okay.
bro.
Well, okay. So, do you think it's okay if trans people use the restrooms that they feel most comfortable in?
It's a difficult conversation, just because I have people at my job too that, I mean, there's men that come into my bathroom sometimes, and just because they grow their hair out and change their name, they think they're a woman. It is kind of insulting just to women. For my opinion, this is what I believe. I just think it's a little insulting when I have men at my job and like,
Well, are these trans women, or I mean, are you
oh,
just
I'm
calling them?
sorry. I'm terrible at using whatever PC, terminologies there are. I don't.
Well,
Yes, a
no.
trans woman.
Well, that didn't sound like it was an accident. It sounded like you purposely did that.
It's
That
not an
didn't seem.
accident. I have many trans friends, but they are also fully aware they have gender dysphoria, and they don't put their shit on other people the way that certain trans people do.
Okay, not every trans person has gender dysphoria, but what is?
I mean, we
What do
can
you?
disagree. That's
Well,
totally real.
that's not an opinion, though. That's a factual
It
statement.
is. No,
No,
that's
not
it's
every.
real,
No,
bro.
no, no, no. Literally, not every trans person has gender dysphoria. By
That's
the
insane.
definition of gender dysphoria, they just don't. Not everyone has it.
Okay.
All right, but we did it. We did hit 20,000 likes. So we're gonna get to the next guest. I don't think some of you guys know what gender dysphoria means. I think some of you guys need to look up what the word dysphoria means. Okay, just because you think, or just because a trans person, for example, born a male, sees themselves as a woman or a girl, depending on their age, that's not dysphoria. There could be dysphoria associated with that, right? Some do, and that's where gender affirming care comes into play, and that's where it's extremely beneficial for them. Uh, but not all of them have the dysphoria part of the gender dysphoria, hence they may not need or want certain things. But again, not every trans person has that. And on the flip side, you can be a cis person and have gender dysphoria as well. For example, young men, grown boys, whatever, who can get gynecomastia, if you guys know what that is. Uh, Breast tissue growth. Sometimes it can happen through puberty. Other times it can happen if you misuse steroids, stuff like that. Regardless, though, you can get gynecomastia, and they start to grow like actual breasts, and there can be gender dysphoria associated with that. Obviously, right? If you're a guy, imagine yourself growing breasts. That'd be pretty shitty, right? You'd feel pretty shitty. Wouldn't you want to get the medical help that you need to feel better? You wouldn't want that taken away from you and just say, deal with it. Grow up. Man up. Deal with it. I'm sure you wouldn't want that. We're looking for opposition, though, okay? People who voted for Trump. Even if you didn't vote for Trump and you have an issue with the LGBT plus community, come on up. Just hit the request button there at the bottom of the screen, okay? Well, Undefeated Matt, you don't have to be in here, man. You do not have to be in here. If you don't like me talking, you can just do that. But it sounds like you want to be in here. It sounds like you want to hear me, so work on whatever the fuck you're dealing with. I still can never grasp the concept of hate watching somebody for that long. I get it for like 2 seconds watching someone you don't like, that I get. I don't understand how you can hate watch someone for hours. That's like really, really odd to me. Oh, we have a very special guest after Undefeated comes out right here. A very special guest. Hi, Erica.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm
Good.
all
How are
right.
you?
Oh,
I thought you
oh,
were talking to
Undefeated.
me again.
Undefeated. I'll get to you in just one quick second. Yeah, you did okay,
Cool.
Erica?
Cool.
Oh yeah, I've had to drop my mum off at the emergency room. So
Ooh, is she okay?
if I have to, I'll tell you all about it once
Okay.
you've spoken to this fella.
Okay. Undefeated. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Just before we move forward, I do need your age, please.
38.
Okay. And did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Okay. What are your views on the LGBT plus community? Oh, Lindsay, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me read this out loud. Lindsay, I'm so sorry. I'm just seeing this. Thank you for the 20 on Venmo. You can table that kick, Lindsay, since they were kicked anyways. It says not the transphobia and internalized misogyny. Gross as fuck. W. Lindsay in the comments, thank you. I'm so sorry I just missed that. Lindsay, you can use that kick for another time, okay? Since I already kicked the person, just let me know in the comments. Sorry, was it Matt? Yeah. So,
Yeah, what's up?
what are your views on the LGBT plus community?
I have no issue with them.
Okay. Then why did you vote for
That's and
Trump?
that's why I don't get your prompt. It's
Okay.
you make sweeping generalizations that just aren't true, and I think you, as well as a lot of people, get off on fear mongering.
Ooh, you're off screen.
Sorry.
Nope. No, you're good.
I hit
You're good.
lock button on my phone.
You're good.
And I think that we need to stop generalizing and fear mongering a whole group of people like you guys don't like the other side to do.
So I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And I think that can be dangerous.
Sure. So I agree generalizations and fear mongering can be dangerous. I don't agree that that's what this is, and I'll tell you why. It's not how you personally feel about them. I don't know you as a person. I have no idea how you personally feel about them. It's your vote. It's what your vote went towards. It's the fact that Trump is harming the LGBT plus community. Republicans in general are harming the LGBT plus community, and you voted for
What
one
way
of them.
is Trump harming the LGBT
And
community?
this is probably the part we're going to have a disagreement. You're going to think this isn't harm, but he has put forward numerous executive orders harming
Like,
trans people
give me
specifically.
one.
For an
Give me
example,
one.
for example, kicking transgender people out of the military. Ones who are already in the military, many of them have deployed once or twice, even more. All of them served honorably. They all passed every single test, every standard that they needed to, and they were kicked out on the sole basis that they were trans and nothing else. 15,000 of them almost.
Okay. And you know what? That may be, you could describe that as possibly hating, but there's probably reasons behind that is more privy to that than we are. There's probably some, I mean, there's executive orders that I'm sure you didn't agree with Biden on, correct?
Well, we can get to that, but what would be the reasoning for kicking them out that
Well,
you think that we're not privy to?
I'm not privy to it. I'm not privy to that executive order.
Well,
I just
I'll
know
tell you there is.
I just know that Trump is the first person with an openly part of the community in his cabinet staff. Is that not correct?
Hang on.
What, an openly gay person?
Who is that person?
Yes.
Who is that person?
It's a part of his cabinet. I believe it's his chief of staff.
No, his chief of staff is a woman who's not a lesbian.
Well, he has an openly part of the community in his cabinet staff. That is a fact.
You're talking about Scott Besant, right?
I'm talking about he has an openly gay person in his cabinet. Is that correct?
Who's Steve Buttigieg?
Did you say Steve? I think you meant
Pete.
Why can't Pete? I don't know why he lost his name.
Pete Buttigieg.
Pete, you're okay. You're okay.
Who's Pete Buttigieg and whose cabinet was he in?
I'm talking in his administration. Trump was the first one to appoint somebody as high as he did.
Which was who?
Who's gay?
Which was who?
I don't know the name. I'm just telling you. Is that a fact or not? Is that a fact or not?
I don't think
is that a fact or not?
Can I tell you the details of the person that he appointed?
I don't care about the details. Is that a fact or is it not a fact?
It
yes
is
or no?
a fact, but that person was temporary.
So excuse me. I don't care. I don't care if it's temporary.
But that doesn't. Oh my gosh.
That person was temporary, and they were in for 3 months, and then they were replaced by someone else. Pete Buttigieg was in the cabinet for the entire time that Biden was the president.
Pete Buttigieg was never at the where this person was. It was documented. It was documented.
Cool. Okay, Liv, I'll get to you in just a minute. Just hang tight for a second. Listen, man, I don't care if he has 10 gay people in his cabinet or no gay people in his cabinet. That doesn't take away from anything that I just said, right? Because he's still harming the community. And again, you kind of conveniently got away from what I said and just said that we don't know the reasons why they kick trans people out. We know the executive order. We know the reasons that they said. They said because they're not being honest that they are being kicked out. It's for integrity reasons.
Well, then there's
and that's bullshit.
Reason.
And that's transphobic. And that's transphobic. Yes, it is.
No,
yes, it is. See, now you're justifying it. Yes,
no, there's not.
Quiet. You got to be quiet for a second. Be quiet for a second.
No, I let you say it. Now let me rebut your claim.
I got to be able to speak, dude. Hold on. I'll let you go afterwards. I promise you can go afterwards. Listen. Are you going to stay mute? Just make sure you stay mute. You good?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we know the reasoning. They said the reasoning. Okay. I don't know why you're trying to justify it. They were kicked out on the sole basis that they were trans, and that's it. They all served honorably. All these people. What's the issue?
You just said it was because they weren't telling the truth. Did you not just say that?
That's what their reasoning was, and that's a bullshit reason, and you're
Yes.
just okay
So
with it. But
okay,
that's not
no.
good though.
Can
That's
I
not
speak? Can I
sure.
speak?
So go ahead and justify it. Go ahead.
No, I'm justifying the fact of if they weren't being true, there's been many people kicked out of the military for integrity reasons. That is true. That are straight, that are white, that are black, that are female, that are Korean. Like there's been many people that have been dishonorably discharged or discharged from the military for integrity reasons. Is that not correct?
You would have to give an example.
Jesus Christ, man!
You'd have to be an example that was
you
applicable to trans people. You're
why
just
is it
justifying
applicable if they are?
You're just justifying
No, I'm
transphobia.
not. No, I'm
Liv,
not.
what's up, man? You can go ahead. Liv,
See,
go ahead,
this
man.
is
What's
what
up?
when you don't like something, you don't. When you hear something
What's
you don't
up,
like, you
Doug? How
just
you
talk
doing?
Yeah, you're
over
just
What's up,
everybody.
Erica?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, what's up, man? Go ahead.
So the prompt is why MAGA? Why do you hate LGBTQ community? So undefeated, why do you hate them?
I don't hate them. That's why I don't like sweeping generalizations, like I said right when I came up here.
Well, has this administration passed policies
They have
that
not passed
target?
policies. They have not
Okay.
passed policies.
Really?
No,
So
they
if
have
I was
not.
to pull up, to pull up like an executive order that specifically
Executive
targets,
order is not a policy.
executive order would be policy. It wouldn't be legislation.
Legislation and policy, we're talking semantics here, man.
No, you tried to make a semantic argument. I just corrected you.
Jesus Christ. Okay, sure. And I gave the reason for it.
What was the reason?
Well, which executive order are you talking? Are you talking the same one as Doug?
I could look up several executive orders, policies.
There's many of them. I have the whole list of the executive orders right here.
Let's hear another one. Let's talk about another one.
All right. Well, you've already justified one of them.
Again, I think the question is why do you hate the LGBTQIA community?
Again, the disagreement. Well, sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to go.
That is wrong.
Go ahead. It's just fine.
No, what I'm trying to say. So I think the issue is he thinks he doesn't, right? And I think actions.
No, I
speak
know.
louder
No,
than
I
words.
know that I know.
Right. Well, but I think actions speak louder than words, though. You can say that, but you've already justified kicking trans people out of the military just because you think they're not being honest.
I talked about the reasoning, whether that reasoning is correct or not. That you can discuss. I'm saying they have a justifiable reason.
It's not a justifiable reason. It's not a justifiable reason.
Do you know?
Yes, I do know that because I know it's a reason.
So you've talked to 15,000 transgender people that got kicked out of the military. Is that what you're telling me?
Did they do that? Did they talk to all 15,000
We can't say they did. We can't say they didn't.
Yes, we can because we know they did it. We know they did it.
We can. I'm going to tell you how we can, because we have spoken to some trans people who were kicked out of the military, and none of those trans people were talked to by Donald Trump's administration.
That's what they said? Or did they show you facts of any
hang on a minute.
Trump's administration never even claimed that they did either. They never even made that claim.
They never claimed they did? They never claimed they didn't.
Are you right? This is the weirdest argument I've ever heard. Like,
no, you guys want facts, so I'm asking for facts in return.
You said you guys want facts. You're not telling us any facts. You're giving us conjecture.
If somebody breaks, so let me ask you a question. If somebody breaks their arm, ought they get health care?
What's that? I'm sorry.
If somebody breaks their arm, ought they get health care?
They can go to the ER.
So you would have, and if we didn't allow them to go to the ER, like let's say they broke their arm, and I just made them sit there, and I said they couldn't go to the doctor, would I be harming them?
What does that have to do with anything?
I'm asking you, would I be harming them?
I mean, no, because they have their own free will.
I'm preventing them from going to the doctor, so it means I'm taking away their free will.
This makes
that was
no
an easy
sense
answer.
Compared to
that was a softball.
Okay.
No,
that was a softball answer.
That was so easy.
No, it's a wrong correlation.
It was supposed to be.
It's a dumb correlation. It's a dumb correlation. Let me try it this way. Doug, it's an absolute idiotic correlation.
One second. No, I think you know where this is going, right, Doug? Can I use you in this example?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Doug, you break your arm. I don't wish this on you, by the way, but you break your arm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, should you get health care and treatment for your broken arm?
Yes.
Okay. If I was to prevent you from getting that health care and that treatment, right, would I be harming you?
Yes.
Do I have to touch you in order to harm you?
Nope.
I could just prevent you from getting treatment, right?
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Okay. Now, undefeated. Just say you broke your arm, right? Should you get health care?
Sure.
Okay. What if I prevented you from getting health care? Would that do harm to you?
Potentially, yes.
Okay. So Donald Trump and his administration has changes to the Affordable Care Act that removed explicit protections for transgender patients. And it increased denial of care, reduced clarity for providers, and documented chilling effects across access, meaning that they were denied access to health care that they needed or wanted, right? And that would essentially do them harm. My question for you is, why are you okay with harming your fellow American?
That needs context. That article needs
Okay,
context.
I'm sorry. We've already given the
What
context that
age?
it needs.
No, it isn't. Without the article in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
you need context of what age group they were
This
talking
isn't
about.
an argument. I'm sorry. Listen, that's
See,
not
this
an
is
argument.
this is what.
That's
See,
not
when
an
you
article.
don't like when you don't like digging in
Listen,
to certain
undefeated.
facts. This is what happens.
Undefeated. No, listen. That's not an article. And you can very continue. Those are my words. I wrote those down. So I have these arguments because I talk to MAGA all the time. I was just reading an argument that I wrote. And that's just one of the premises from an argument that I wrote. Okay. Now, go on and say what you were going to say.
All right. While he's figuring out the mute button, Tammy, thank you for the 5 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Tammy says he clearly hates trans people. When he's agreeing, they are lying, and that justifies them being kicked out of the military. That was my point. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, we can get to new guests at 40,000 likes, by the way. Go ahead.
Again, presenting a rebuttal does not mean I hate somebody. I refute some of my best friends' claims on certain things. That doesn't mean I hate them.
Do I love you if I deny you health care for your broken arm, Doug?
Again, you keep bringing
I'm sorry, I'm asking Doug.
You
say that's love.
Okay. No, you certainly wouldn't love me.
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Undefeated. If
so
you love
bad.
trans people, why are you okay with denying them health care?
They haven't been denied health care.
Again,
Really?
I'm telling you that under the Trump administration, it's passed one of his executive orders that rolled back clarity in the Affordable Care Act that denies trans people access to health care.
No,
and made
it
unclear
moved
guidance.
things around, and it did roll back things. Hopefully, this is what it rolled back, is age limit on certain things that have to do with the transgender transition period. Yes,
Okay.
I agree with
so now
that
you're
stuff.
just going to be disingenuous. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you
Disingenuous? I'm giving you my
now
opinion.
listen, now I'm going to ask you the direct question for my argument. If the rollback of the ACA protections cause no harm, why would multiple healthcare organizations report increased barriers and denials of transgender patients afterwards?
Again, it depends on the age requirements, and yes, I do believe there needs to be more restrictions.
Listen to the question again.
Hold on, time out.
You're not giving me enough context.
Hold on, quick time out. Somebody who has a kick, they just used it, so I got to kick you, man. Somebody disliked you so much they paid for it. So, sorry, Liv, I didn't mean to cut off the middle of your thing, but somebody had a kick that they paid for before, and they just used it right now.
Man.
So.
I don't mind kicking bigots.
You been all right, man? Haven't seen you in a bit.
I've been good, man. I've been good.
Cool,
hey,
cool.
In July, I got a great little program. I don't know if you affiliated with any nonprofits in your area.
What do you got? No, not currently, no.
So my Dan Trail, right? Artist.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we'd like to do a virtual art class. It's a 3-day art camp, right? Where he sits down for 90 minutes and just paints a piece. And he gets to show young people some art. We want to do some crowdfunding. We're gonna give away an original, but if you tap in with like a nonprofit, it's just gonna be as simple as setting up a laptop, getting the young people, and just I'll send you some more details.
Yeah. Let's talk. Yeah, if you want to talk more around a minute, let me get to this guest real quick, and then you can talk more on that. Cam, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes. I just need to know your age first. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 31. You're good.
All right. And did you happen to vote for Trump?
I did. I will say I did.
Okay. So, and what are your views on LGBT plus community?
Well, I joined in. I've never joined one of these actually. I just wanted to chime something in about the military.
Okay.
So I heard you guys talking about transgenders being kicked from the military, all that conversation.
Transgender people,
I did vote for Trump.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm more centric in my views, where I'm open to admit when someone makes mistakes. Let's say I was just looking at the Trump housing bill. I think it's garbage that he's not preventing corporations from buying houses, and I can openly say that and criticize the president when he does something that I don't agree with. Okay. However, I heard you guys talking about the transgenders in the military.
Transgender people, yes.
Mental health issues, things like that play a role in military selection, whether you're transgender or not. If you look at the stats, transgender people, more than half of them are suffering from some sort of mental illness, which is usually what leads to the idea of being transgender, I would say, whether it's bipolar, severe depression, anxiety, something like that.
Well, those would be hold on. Those don't lead to being trans. In fact, it would probably be the other way around, if anything.
Correct, and it actually shows that people who are transgender can help with their mental health disorders when they complete the process. So what I'm basically trying to say is, whether you're transgender or not, if you suffer from some sort of mental illness, you shouldn't be serving in the military.
Okay, so but that's already a thing. Sure, but that's already a thing, though, in the military. If you have certain mental illnesses, you're already not allowed in the military. That's already a thing. Correct. However, though, the issue with this is trans people don't inherently have any mental disorders or mental illnesses or anything like that. Now, if one happens to have one, then yes, they wouldn't be allowed in the military. But that would be the case for cis people if they had that thing as well, right?
Well, here's the point. Here's the overall point, because I agree with you. I do agree. I think most people, whether you're right, left, or somewhere in the middle, I don't think most people hate LGBT community. I think people hate when any view, whether it's LGBT or any other view, is pushed on them. But my overall point is, if you look up the stats, the overall psychiatric diagnosis for people that have transitioned or are considered transgender are 58%. 58% of them have some sort of underlying medical condition documented.
What's your source on that?
You can look it up. I'm looking at ChatGPT right now, where I just ChatGPT'd an overall psychiatric diagnosis. So whether you want to agree with it or not, it pulls from whatever sources that it pulls from.
Yeah, so they tell their source. No, that's fine. I just want to be able to get this. So what is their source? Because they always cite it. They cite it. ChatGPT cites it. We
got PubMed Central, a government website, Williams Institute, different college studies that it pulled from. You can just search it. I mean, you can verify the sources.
I'm about to. What's the percentage?
It says 58%. Overall psychiatric diagnosis, 58%. But regardless of what the percentage is, it doesn't matter. If you're looking at overall what these people are focused on, if you're dealing with some sort of transgender, you feel you need to do that to transition for your mental health, I think that should be your priority over the military.
Okay, but that, again, that's a separate thing, right? So once again, they get evaluated. Like when you go into the military, you get evaluated for all of these things. Okay,
correct.
And so if you're trans and you don't have these things, you should still be allowed in the military. However, though, with this executive order, they're being kicked out of the military, whether they have a mental issue or not. It's just solely on the basis that they're transgender.
Which I do agree with to a certain extent. But what I'm trying to say...
Wait, you agree with taking them out, or you agree with what I just said?
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I understand the argument point of there's going to be people in any circumstance when certain things roll out that are targeted, and unfortunately, they get the short end of the stick, I guess you could say.
But that would be bad, though, right? That would be a bad thing to do.
This is my overall point. I think people who have these issues, I personally think transgender, like if you're becoming transgender or you have an issue with your gender identity, I think that takes priority in your life over a lot of the other things. And if you were someone in the military dealing with that, you want to make sure you have the most fit person.
But the problem with this, though, is you're talking about people like there's a trans woman who's a military test pilot and who has been in the Air Force for like decades and was one of the US's leading test pilots. And she, even though her service was exemplary, she was performing her duties, many of which there were very few people who could perform them. You're saying, oops, oh well, because, some other trans people, by the way, had completed transition. So sorry, I'm sitting in a car park and I have to have my window open because it's like 38 degrees Celsius right now.
That's hot, right? That's really hot, right? That's
it's like 90, 95 or something.
By the way, guys, 40,000 likes, new guest, right? 40K.
So instead of saying, look, this person has really important skills, they've been in for this long, they probably cost the American taxpayer millions of dollars in training. Instead of looking at it on a case by case basis, we're just going to throw them all out, all of them. It's wild.
And that's I think that's a great argument for the situation. But here's how it works with everything that we look at. When we looked at ICE and the deportations, the exceptions don't make the rule for anything. So there's always going to be people, when overall, blanket things happen, there's going to be people that get wrapped into that negative things happen to them. Police force, the deportations of people, transgenders getting kicked out of the military.
Transgender people.
That's always the way it works. And it goes the other way too when stuff like this happens, right? I mean, that's just really the way it works. So you'll always see those horrible situations. But when you have these overall circumstances that this stuff happens,
Liv,
it just does happen.
Liv, you can go in 2 seconds. Let me just read this memo real quick. JRO, thank you for the $3. WJRO in the comments. That's JRO. Says, hey, buddy, maybe you should concern yourself with Pete Hegseth reinstating Federate names on military bases versus trans people in the military. What a joke. Thank you, JRO. Appreciate that. WJRO.
Just to clear it up, too, I am not a hateful person. I'm just making an argument from the other standpoint, I guess, playing devil's advocate with you guys, because I agree. There's always going to be situations you can point to with any news article, with anything you see. But I'm just saying overall, when you look at it, when you look at the numbers, some of the data that's collected, you can disagree with the data.
I got you. Okay.
There's some sort of psychiatric situation going on with a lot of these people that I think a lot of people can acknowledge.
Go ahead, Liv. Oh, and one quick thing, Liv. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off. Hey, Kev, just make sure when you mention trans people, just say trans people. You keep saying transgenders. If you want to do that in your own time, I can't control it. But just say trans people if you can, please. Okay. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Liv.
Oh, sorry, was that me?
Yeah. Just if you can, please, I appreciate it. Go ahead, Liv.
Transgender. Okay, sorry.
Transgender people.
Transgender people. They're people. We like humanizing language. Do you agree that all qualified Americans should have an equal opportunity to serve in the military?
Yes, I just think we disagree on what's qualifying them, I guess.
Okay. Are you aware that the Trump administration has passed policies to ban most trans people from serving openly in the military, regardless of their qualifications?
Yes.
Okay. Do you dispute the findings of the American Medical Association and former military leaders who stated that transgender servicemen and women and non-binary people pose no threat to the readiness or cohesion in the military?
I think that's a tough statement to just make overall. It's kind of like what I was saying with the data. I think that regardless of if you're a transgender person or you're a straight white male, if you're found to have some sort of psychiatric diagnosis, that plays a role in how you're selected for your military role.
Well, we've already established principle, right?
No, I wouldn't. Yes, the principle would be if I agreed with you fully on your statement.
We would agree that all qualified Americans should have an equal opportunity to serve in the military.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that I think I disagree with what qualifies.
The American Medical Association, this is where I cite that source. And when I say things like the American Medical Association, that's me citing a source. Right?
Correct. But this is my argument, is that I think if you're going through hormone therapy, if you're having genital removal surgery or some sort of genital altering surgery, something like that, I think that's the priority in your life over your service to the country.
Well, again, the military leaders and the American Medical Association disagree with you. Do you know more than people that are actually serving in the military and the American Medical Association? Is that what you're saying now?
I think it's dangerous to claim that know more than any professional on anything, but I think it's okay to have an opinion that aligns differently.
So you would agree then we would have to go with the American Medical Association as well as military leaders, right?
For certain situations, absolutely. Like I said, you guys, there's always going to be people that get the short end of the stick.
In this situation, we're talking about trans people serving in the military, right? It poses no threat to readiness.
Hey, you said trans people, just saying.
No. What we're saying is you kept saying transgenders, right? And we just put people after trans people, right?
Trans people, transgender people.
Oh, that's it. Yeah. And Olive, you can go right after. You can go right after Liv.
Yeah.
I just want to hang.
I mean, I can bounce off if I'm going in circles.
Now that we've established an expert consensus, we've established facts, and we've agreed to the principle. These last two questions may be a little difficult for you. but I'm very curious. If a qualified group is excluded from service based on gender identity, how is this not discrimination?
It is discrimination for certain people. I would say absolutely it is. And just like I said, there's going to be situations with ICE, for example, where an innocent American gets wrapped up in the situation, but it doesn't mean what overall is happening is negative. I think that every situation that you go through, we could sit here and nitpick certain situations where it's unfortunate. Like Erica brought up that pilot that was excellent performance, whatever she was saying about it. And that absolutely is a valid take. I think anybody that thinks one way is perfect over the other is wrong. Whether your view is you lean right, you lean left. We can sit here and debate it all day. That's the whole point of these. But
you do realize that discrimination is illegal, right?
Yes, but that's the way it works. There's going to be mistakes through the process, just like when a police officer shoots someone.
These aren't mistakes. What we're talking about is the impact of policy, right? And so the policy isn't a mistake. The disqualification and discrimination of trans people is not a mistake. It is intentional, right? So how can you legitimately sit here and say, well, here's my question. If discrimination against a qualified group in the military service is not harm, right? What do you consider harm or discrimination to be?
Well, the thing is, you're viewing discrimination as people who might be diagnosed with a medical diagnosis. And like I said, there's not going to be 100% of them that have it.
You can't keep walking this back, man.
We're not walking it back.
You said you would appeal to and agree with me with the American Medical Association as well as military leaders, right? And so if they have a consensus that trans people in the military do not disrupt readiness, meaning that they are warriors ready to fight, right? And they do not disrupt the social cohesion of the military, right? Per the information.
But how do you
can't argue? You can't argue anything about a mental illness because we're talking about those qualified. And this becomes the frustrating part is that Doug already laid this out, that there are already processes in the military to remove people who have mental illnesses. And mental illnesses and being trans is not a mental illness in all cases.
Let me, Liv, can I let Olive go, or do are we finishing up, or what?
That was
okay. All right, no worries, man. What's Olive? Were you waiting a long time? Sorry, I know you're in. I don't know if you're in the box or
you guys want me to bounce off?
No,
I appreciate the conversation regardless.
Wait, Cam,
no, Cam, you're good.
I came up here specifically to talk to you, but I wanted you to finish the dialogue with Liv because the things that he's bringing to you are exactly what you need to be hearing. Also, I want to just clarify: you are aware that it was ruled in DC that kicking the entirety of trans people out of the military is unconstitutional, right?
Yes, and this is where we get into the debate of what viewpoints we have, I guess, overall. And like I said, I'm not a hateful person. I just view the overall psychiatric diagnosis that have come out from people who suffer from it, or I shouldn't say suffer, people that are transgender. I disagree, I think, with what you guys are saying, where I think there is something that they should prioritize in their life so that they feel better, because it does show overall that it helps these people with their mental illnesses, no matter what it is. I mean, I have a whole list of what they suffer from.
Do you?
That's where I think that we differ in what we're saying, because I respect what Liv is saying, that it's unconstitutional, all that. But then the people who would agree with it are viewing these things and saying, hey, for someone that's in the military serving, it also might not make them comfortable with that situation if they are suffering from it, whether they were a transgender person or not. If it's a straight white male, if you have someone suffering from some sort of mental illness, that might not be the person you want fighting next to you in a do or die situation.
With all due respect, I don't think the comfort of your fellow soldiers is something to take into consideration in this conversation. But let me just ask you.
It absolutely is. That I totally disagree with.
Oh, okay. So what about the comfort of all the people that get raped consistently in the military? Is there comfort? Actually, never mind. We're not going to go there. What I want to say is, I'm sorry for getting off topic. My boyfriend served 13 years in the United States Air Force. He was highly ranked. He has security clearances that I'm not even going to speak on because I can't talk about them. With that said, he had no relevant diagnoses. Eli had no relevant diagnoses that would ever exempt him from serving. So why all of a sudden is his identity, which by the way, his identity is not a diagnosis. I'll say that one more time. His identity is not a diagnosis. Why is his identity kicking him out of the military when he has no relevant diagnoses that had previously kicked him out? Why?
Well, the identity isn't what kicks them out. That's what
Yes,
we're
it
just
is.
looping around over and over again.
Yes, it is.
It's the data that comes with what transgenderism and what transgender people are going through.
It's not an ism, first of all. An ism is an ideology. Transgender people are not.
All the
they're
word
not an
correction,
ideology.
I mean, words are important. Words are important, though.
I would say
right?
so, but I mean, you guys told me to not use trans, and then Liv used trans right after me, so it's kind of just feels
trans.
like
No. It wasn't trans. It was saying trans and not having people afterwards or person. It was you can say trans, just trans person. That was it. You just
I said
that was it. And you corrected yourself. You corrected. You corrected it. You were fine. You were good.
But go ahead. Like I said, we can say the identity of it. I understand what a transgender person is going through to make themselves feel comfortable. But overall, what I'm saying is the people who are transgender tend to have these psychiatric diagnoses that come with it that they're battling to try to get better from. And I have no problem with it. And overall, with the LGBT community, the only time a lot of people have issues with it is when it's forced on you, when it's put at the White House as a display, or, things that do whatever you want in private. I think most people agree. No one should be hateful to someone doing something in private respectfully. There's no reason anybody should hate that, whether you're left, right.
How do you exist as the gender identity that you are in private? How does one do that?
Well, that doesn't matter. Seeing someone in public that way doesn't matter.
Why did you bring up that talking point of doing it in
because
private?
I just said LGBTQ, when we were talking about the overall topic.
This conversation has nothing to do with sexuality right now. This is gender identity. Stay on topic, please.
Okay, absolutely. It's very interesting the way that the dialogue unfolds.
Yeah, you think this is funny. You think this is funny when the life of millions.
I don't. I think it's funny to act like you're a bigger person than me over the fact that I'm trying to be respectful of the overall topic. And I brought it back just to say most people have no problem with it. No, most people have no problem with it if it's not a public display.
Your tone does not equate to respect. Just so you know that.
Okay. Thanks, Olive. I appreciate it. Your tone has been fantastic.
My tone is exactly what the fuck it should be, because my boyfriend and millions of other transgender Americans are suffering and have lost fucking everything. So don't you dare tone police me when people are literally dying right now. You are. You're being a condescending fucking prick.
You're cursing me out. I have no issues with it.
Doug.
Go ahead.
You're all good. Guys, remember 40,000 likes we can get to a new guest. Yeah, Kim, I just don't understand why they couldn't just kick, and they again already do, just kick people out of the military who have some sort of mental disorder, mental issue, whatever the case might be.
I think that's a very good point.
But then why make a sweeping thing for all trans people when you already admit not all trans people have?
Well, and that's where I agree with you, is that any circumstance that we go through, there's always going to be dialogue that unfolds to improve it, right? So whether it's hateful towards Trump and the next administration comes in and corrects it, that stuff can unfold and can happen. My overall argument was just, this is the data that comes out right now about it. This is all a new topic when you look at the timeline we're in right now. So your argument is perfect for it, and I would say the same thing for any circumstance.
But I forget, did you vote for Trump or?
I did vote for Trump, and I will say, like I said, I disagree.
Him?
What's that?
Do you currently still support him?
This is the way I view it. I do believe, and maybe even a lot of left people agree, I do believe overall I would still vote for Trump over Kamala, for example.
All right, so you're still willing to harm the LGBT plus community then? No, but the worst part of this is you kind of know it's harming. Like I speak with a lot of people who don't know they're being harmed and they won't admit it.
If the main topic is harming LGBTQ community, then our priorities are totally different in terms of what the country is going
my priorities are human rights. Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
And I agree. I think human rights are important, but there's a lot of other things that are happening in the country right now that aren't LGBTQ. Let me read
two Venmos first, and I'll get back to that real quickly. J-Ro, thanks for the 4. I appreciate it. WJ in the comments, it says, looks like he's trying to make us go back in the closet in hiding, but we are never going back to hiding from public view. People that think like you do need to be exposed. J-Ro, thank you so much. And then we have Michelle here. Michelle, thank you for the $2. W Michelle in the comments. It says, he has the same argument as racist men used to have who didn't want to serve next to non-white soldiers. It is very similar.
I think Doug, I hope that you can take from my tone that I'm not a hateful person. I'm not here to sit here and be hateful. Do I have differing opinions on stuff? Sure. I have no problem with any of the community. Anybody that wants to be themselves has the right to be themselves in this country. The only argument I was making, I guess to play devil's advocate a little bit, was there is data that shows this stuff. Is there an opportunity for us to improve our selection method? Absolutely. Absolutely.
They didn't have to do that, though. They didn't have to do that. Like, they went out of their way to do that, though. That's the problem.
Correct.
Once again, your tone means absolutely nothing in regards to the respect that you have for these people. Your tone doesn't mean anything. And I'm going to try to settle myself down so that I'm a more palatable feminine voice so you don't get so upset. Okay,
Cam,
I don't think I've been upset.
Cam, somebody disliked you so much they paid to kick you. Goodbye. Veronica, thank you for the 20 on Cash App. W. Veronica says the guest can go fuck himself. Thank you so much, Veronica. I really, really appreciate that. W. Veronica.
Doug, my mum is just coming out of the emergency room, so I'm going to go.
Okay. Is she okay? Or, I mean, if you want to talk about it here.
I don't know whether I've told you before, but she has really, really thin skin because of some medications she was on for asthma for years. And she hit her her leg on something, and it just completely split everything. Jeez. So she's had to go and have it all dressed and have the skin put back together.
I'm glad she's okay. So, yeah. Glad she's okay.
Yeah, she's good. I can see her. She's waving at me. So
okay. All righty, Erica. Well, great having you up. Take care. Okay, have a good one. All right, guys. Let's get to the next guest. We are looking for opposition. Olive, Liv, you guys can certainly hang out up here. You don't have to by any means. It's up to you. If you guys are enjoying the live, click the follow button on the top left. Give Olive and Liv a follow, and do show them a little bit of support, guys. I don't know if their pay links are in their bio, but if so, you're more than welcome to support them there. My pay links are in my bio as well. Not needed, but I do appreciate it. If you're watching on the tube, make sure you subscribe and like the live. Let's get to the next one. And we're only looking for opposition, guys. We already have 2 friendlies up here. I don't need any more. So if you do agree with myself, Olive, and Liv, please do drop in a request box. Hello, Michael. Hello, Michael. How you doing? Michael going once. Michael going. Okay. Yeah, goodbye. All right, let's get to the next one.
Hey, Doug. How's it going?
Good, good. How old are you?
33.
Okay. Did we speak before?
I think we've spoken 5 or 6 times.
Oh, God.
On different topics, yeah.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. And you voted for Trump?
Yep.
Okay. What are your views on the LGBT plus community?
He's Canadian.
I don't think anyone has an issue with LGBTQIA.
He's a Trump supporter,
people
but
might disagree with the trans ideology, but it doesn't mean we hate them, right?
Well, Truth, hold on. Are you in Canada?
Pardon?
Are you in Canada?
Yeah.
Why did you lie and say you voted for Trump?
Oh, sorry. I meant to say I support Trump. My apologies. I didn't vote for him.
I don't believe that.
I think we talked about this before.
But you didn't have to lie. I'm fine having people up who aren't.
No, I might have misspoke. My apologies. Yeah, I'm not from the United States. I support Trump, but I didn't vote for him. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. A little weird, but all right, whatever. All right. So what was your argument again? Sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, I don't think anyone has an issue with the LGBTQIA plus community. Now we might disagree with the trans ideology, but it doesn't mean we actually hate the community at all. Everyone has a right to live how they want to live, right?
All right. I can get to that. I do disagree with what you're saying. Listen, man. Disagreeing. We're not talking about disagreeing on harmless things. We're not talking about disagreeing about whether you like pineapple on pizza, whether you like chocolate or vanilla better, right? We can disagree on that and be fine, right? That's fine. What we disagree on here is about human rights and how we treat humans. And this isn't just a harmless disagreement. That's why I have this up here, right? So it's not just for no reason. It's because I think your opinions are harmful. I think your views are harmful. I think your vote was harmful.
How's a disagreement harmful?
When you disagree about human rights, yeah, it's harmful.
But what human right is being violated in the LGBTQIA community?
I mean, surely you were just listening. Surely you were just listening to the last conversation. Surely you were just listening to the last conversation. You must have heard an example or two.
My apologies. I literally just came in, Doug. I don't mean you have your repeat yourself.
All right.
But
so we'll just use the same example. Transgender people were kicked out of the military, near 15,000 of them, on the sole basis that they were transgender, and that's it and nothing else. Many of which have been deployed, some numerous times. Many have been in 10 plus years, served honorably, just kicked out just because they're trans. That
I
would
don't
be an
think they were
example.
kicked out just because they were trans. It had to do
Oh,
with
Yes, they
certain
were.
medications that they had
specifically.
taken.
Yes, they
Nope.
were. Yes, they
That
were.
wasn't in the executive order. They mentioned nothing about medications in the executive order. I have it right in front of me.
Well, again, you need to be mentally fit to be in the military, correct?
Right.
If
Right. And they were in the military. They passed every single test and standard that they needed to be in the
under
military.
Biden, yeah, but
No,
not under
no,
Trump.
no. Under Trump the first time, under Obama, under Bush, they were all. You were all. That's it. Like they
How
No,
passed
many
everything.
trans
my
people were in the
example?
military under Bush compared to now?
Hold on, real quick, truth
Because the
teller.
trans numbers have increased like
Truth
1,000-fold.
teller,
Sorry,
listen,
go ahead,
please.
Olive. My apologies.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to give you one anecdotal example, and this is important. And I know anecdotes aren't always necessarily relevant, but in this case, it is because it's a broad, sweeping thing that happened to the entirety of trans people. My boyfriend served in the United States Air Force for 13 years. He did not have any relevant diagnoses to get him removed. He did not even start testosterone until after he was kicked out. So there's no medication, there's no diagnosis, there's nothing except for his gender identity and who he is as a person that got him kicked out. Can you explain that?
TT, hold on, answer that in 2 seconds. I just got to read this. I'm sorry. J Ro, thank you for the 2 on Venmo. It says, what would you say if we disagreed with you being a straight man? I would like for you to answer that, but answer Olive's question first, please.
Yeah, so again, did they kick him out because of, again, like a mental ability to perform in the military?
No, they did not. No, they kicked him out because
they didn't give a reason?
They kicked him out because he self-identifies as a transgender man. That was the only criteria that got him kicked out.
What did they say on his discharge paperwork?
There was no new diagnosis. There was no new medication added. There was nothing relevant except for his identity that got him kicked out from the United States Air Force after 13 years.
So on his discharge paperwork, it showed that?
Can I read the executive order to you? It's
yeah,
not long.
Please.
It's not
please,
long.
Yeah.
It's a paragraph. This order requires that the U.S. Department of Defense update medical enlistment and retention standards to ban transgender individuals from serving in the armed forces within 60 days and a discontinued practice of pronoun self-identification. It also requires the U.S. Secretary of Defense identify further measures needed for full implementation and provide a report to the president summarizing these measures within 30 days. Service members will be required to use sleeping, changing, and bathing facilities corresponding to their assigned sex, with exceptions only in cases of operational necessity. The order outrageously declares that identifying as a gender that is different than individual sex assigned at birth conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. The order also states, and we're almost at the end here, that using pronouns inconsistent with one's assigned sex compromises the government's ability to establish high standards from troop readiness, lethality, cohesion, honesty, humility, uniformity, and integrity. So essentially, that was it. So essentially, it was kicking people out of the military because they were trans. That's what it says.
So from what I see, it had to do with mental health and fitness. So policies frequently cite a history of diagnosis gender dysphoria as incompatible with military medical and mental health standards, as well as medical readiness. The military argued that ongoing need for hormone treatments and surgeries complicates deployment, especially in remote or combat zones.
Got it. I got it. Not all trans people are on medication. So what about the trans people who are not on medications? Why were they kicked out?
Again, to do with gender dysphoria, it's incompatible with military.
Not all trans people have gender dysphoria, and if they had this apparent mental issue that you speak of, it would have come up already, right? You don't have to. The fact that they then learn they're trans and saying, "Oh, you have a mental disorder," that's wild. Because if they had a mental disorder, you should have known that prior to them being trans, right?
Hey, mind if I do something really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 344 people in here. Can I get everybody to power tap the screen? Let's get up to 50K likes. Also, I do believe, what is it, 25 to kick?
20 on Venmo or 2 Galaxies, yeah.
20 on Venmo or 2 Galaxies, people. I'm just saying. Wink, wink.
I appreciate that, love. Thank you. I got 50,000 likes. We'll get to a new guest. All right, Truth. I don't remember where we're at, but yeah. So again, not all trans people have mental disorders. I'm just wondering why they were kicked out.
But I think that's where the military disagrees with your statement. I think a lot of people on the right disagree with that statement, is because we literally think like, if you think you can be something that you're not, it's not hateful. Someone can be and pretend whoever they want to be, but again, it's not grounded in reality. So you can't have someone that's disillusioned by their reality and allow them into the military.
Thank you so much, Liv. I appreciate it. Was that 2 galaxies? I think that may have been only one.
Just one. I'm waiting on the chat
to
come through.
Yeah, thank you, Liv. Yeah, anybody
people.
can send one. All right, so
come on, people.
Like we know what a woman is. It's a biological human female, right?
Hold on. Okay, no. Listen, but the medical it's an
adult human female.
Hold on. The medical community though disagrees with you, right? So why do you know more than the medical community?
They don't. The medical community didn't think
they don't say that they don't say trans people have mental disorders inherently. Nobody says that in the medical community.
The DSM-5 shows gender dysphoria. What are you talking about?
Correct, and that's not the same thing as being trans. Goodbye, though. People hated you this much. No. Jesus fucking Christ. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. To Liv, and who is the other one? I'm sorry. Jess, thank you so much. Jess, Liv. Can't speak today. All right, let's get to the next one. Again, we're looking for opposition. If you agree with myself, Liv, and Olive, please do drop. Again, only people who want to debate. If you can send the heart me at the top left, that would be terrific. And if you want to give me a follow, join live and follow Liv and Olive as well. Zane, what's up?
I do have a quick question for you and Olive.
All right, sure. What's up?
If you had to pick a cereal, what cereal is top tier? The best cereal
Fruity Pebbles!
Okay, you're
Fruity
cool. I'll give you a follow.
Awesome.
And what about you, Doug? Don't say shit like Raisin Bran, dog. You look like you eat Raisin Bran.
I was about to say Raisin Bran Crunch.
I knew it looked like Raisin.
Oh, you called that. You called that
one. Shit. Raisin Bran Crunch is good. Regular Raisin Bran, not so much. I gotta have the crunch.
Can I put an L? Let's put an L in the chat. I hate to do this in your live, but I'm sorry. Can we get L's?
What's your favorite cereal? What's yours?
Oh, Fruity Pebbles, top tier, right?
Fruity Pebbles is good.
But I'm also really a big fan of Frosted Flakes. I ain't gonna lie. It's Frosted like those two are a tie for me.
All right, fair enough. Zane, what's up? How old are you?
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Good. I just need to know your age before we move forward.
I am 17.
Oh, wait, hold on, Tommy, I just saw that you sent a 20 on Cash App for that guy. You can table that. Tommy in the comments, it says, fuck this dude, he doesn't even go here. Wait, was that for this one? Tommy, let me know. Was it for Zane or the other guy? Let me know, Tommy. Anyways.
I just talked
about the other guy.
Okay, yeah, so Tommy, just table it for the next one. Thank you, though. All right, Zane.
So him above us is 17.
Oh, you're 17? Get out of here. Sorry, I was talking way too much. Sorry, guys. I was talking too much to even hear that. I saw 17 in chat. I'm like, why do people keep saying 17? Wonder, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
How old are you?
22.
Okay, cool. And did you vote for Trump?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay. Do you have an issue with the LGBT plus community?
I do, but it's a caveat, right? Now, I'm going to say this. I do not dislike people being gay, trans, whatever, right? No issue with that whatsoever. My issue with the community as a whole is the lack of policing of very bad actors that co-opt your movements and give it a bad name, right?
Like what? What would be an example?
There are a number of, I'm not saying all, there's a very loud minority in the LGBT community that tend to give you guys a bad name. One is Lily Tino, awful actor in the community, gives you guys a bad name.
Well, listen, but I don't understand the argument, because there are just shitty people. Just human beings sometimes can be shitty, regardless if you're gay, trans, black, whatever. Like, there's just shitty people that exist. I don't understand what this has to do with the LGBT plus community as a whole.
My issue is that instead of immediately coming after people and saying, hey, what this person is doing is bad, we need to make sure that this person does not give us a bad name. Instead, it's PR. What it seems like from the community is that there's a whole bunch of PR to try to salvage the image of the community as a whole, because the belief is if this one person is popular enough, even though they're doing a bad thing, it gives the entire community a bad name. Rather than ousting the person for doing bad things, you try to say, no. It's not all. It's the same hypocritical shit that
Right.
you know
It is
men
not
do.
all, but okay.
All
Right.
I know. I'm saying it's not all. It's the same thing
Okay.
that men
I got
do.
your argument. I got it. Olive, go ahead. I saw your hand up.
May I ask you, guest, are you transgender by chance?
No.
Do you frequent transgender spaces where we have conversations about certain people like these?
I mean, I'm on a very left-leaning college campus in gender studies classes, so yes, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. So when it comes to the relevance of online spaces like Doug's or other queer spaces where we discuss these topics, I have been frequenting these for many, many, many years, and there are a vast, vast multitude of people who publicly speak about specifically Lily Tino. In fact, me and Eli spoke out against Dean fucking Withers and got into an entire argument with him for like a month and a half over Lily Tino and platforming her. We do not agree with Lily Tino either. However, the entirety of the trans community, just like any other community, is not a monolith. So to paint us all as like bad and problematic because somebody like her exists is just unfair and doesn't make sense. We speak out.
There's a minority that gives you guys a bad name, and then there's enough people defending them rather than ousting them that it makes the community look worse. Rather than I didn't say.
But what I'm telling you is that we do collectively speak out against people like her who harm our community. We do that all the time. If you would pay attention to us.
You know what? That's fair. That's a fair point. I'll admit to that. That is a fair point.
Thanks.
Guys, we can get to new guests at 65,000 likes, or there's other ways to get rid of a guest sooner. All right. So, what else is your reasoning? Do you have any other reasonings?
It's mostly that, but personally, this one is my an opinion of mine, only from a medical standpoint, as I am a pre-med student. I don't like kids getting hormone treatments.
What age do you think they're getting that?
Under 18. I don't like seeing it because there can be lasting effects. Right now, I understand,
but that's the point. That is the point, to have lasting effects.
No. I mean, like, you'll get kids getting sarcopenia, osteoporosis, osteopenia, like massive medical issues that
I'll address that. Yeah. I'll address that. So, for one, it's very rare. It's not nearly as common as social media would like you to believe. It is very rare that happens. However, though, when it does, it is a medical necessity. Kids can get other forms of healthcare that I assume you wouldn't have an issue with that also have lasting effects. When they get chemo, for example, that has a lot of lasting effects. I'm sure you're okay with that. They can get that type of treatment, right? So what's the difference here? Because this also saves lives. Statistically, it shows that it lowers rates of depression, substance abuse, and overall self-unaliving. By law, actually.
There's still a base of 40% comorbidity with those things.
But hold on. But there's still a huge reduction in that. Yes, when they after gender affirming care, it is still not quite as low as like cis kids, for example, their self-unaliving rate, but it's a significant reduction. And you should be for that. You shouldn't be for something that's going to kill them more. I would hope not.
The thing is, I don't like it for people under 18. That's it.
So what do they do in that? That's fine. But what do they do in that situation? If, say, a 13, 14-year-old has severe gender dysphoria and they have thoughts of self-unaliving, what should they do? Nothing else has worked up until that point. What do they do?
The first thing that you should do for that is see a healthcare professional immediately, right?
In this case, they've already been doing that. They've already saw healthcare providers. They've already tried antidepressants, everything.
I'd rather go through every other option rather than hormones, because again, they're going through puberty. Their body is in a very, very precarious state, and if you introduce a high dosage of hormones that are usually at a low dose, for example, FTM, right? Female to male, they usually have more estrogen than testosterone. Introducing testosterone can lead into osteoporosis.
But hold on. But every medication ever has side effects. There's not a single medication, single treatment that does not have side effects. That's just the very nature of medicine, right? So what they have to do is, and this is what the doctor and the patient have to do, they have to weigh out the pros and cons. Is what this is treating, does it help more than the side effects it potentially can give? And if the answer is yes, then they will take it. That's it.
However,
Also, there's over 30 years of evidence-based research to show the efficacy and viability of these particular drugs. So,
Right.
there's
That's
just as
important
much
thing to note too.
research showing that there are lasting effects that will inhibit their quality of life later on.
But you know what also inhibits their quality of life? Killing themselves.
Doug, can I test his consistency real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you feel about young girls under the age of 18 being placed on birth control pills?
Not good, because again, it's hormones. It's excessive hormones.
Okay, at least you're logically consistent. Continue.
Like, again, the issue is the lasting effects. We know that women being put on birth control pills can then lead into what was it called? Precarious periods, osteopenia, osteoporosis.
which is worse, precarious periods or pregnancy? For a 14-year-old, 15-year-old,
just don't have sex.
Listen, I didn't ask that. I didn't ask that. I asked you which one was worse.
Neither.
For a 14 to 15-year-old child.
Personally, you would have neither. In my opinion.
Well, again, I said which one. If you were a 14-year-old, if you were a 14-year-old girl, would you rather have a precarious period or be pregnant?
See, the thing is, they're both pretty bad for different things.
Can you answer my question?
I'm explaining it. I'm going through the logic. I'm explaining it. They're both pretty bad. Precarious periods can be a massive issue later on.
Pregnancy can cause unaliving at that age.
True. That is true. But
will a precarious period take the life of a young child?
I would rather it could.
No, I'm asking you a direct. I don't understand how that answers the question I asked you.
Precarious periods can actually cause the unaliving of a child because of things like hemophilia, their platelet count being too low and the bleeding never stopping. That is a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
That's just medical negligence.
Yeah.
No.
So let's not. We're not talking about that. We're talking about
medical negligence. That can just happen naturally. But I would rather neither.
Give me a case with that happen. Show me a case. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go back to ask you the question I asked you. For a 14-year-old, which would they rather have, in your opinion? A precarious period or to be pregnant? One of which can more likely than not can cause their unaliving.
And my answer is neither. I would rather neither.
Okay. So again, you're being disingenuous now.
I'm not. I'm telling you.
You are being disingenuous. You're refusing to engage. Right.
I am engaging.
And so I'm just going to go back on. You're not engaging, right?
Both of those outcomes are terrible for the little girl. So I would rather neither.
So you would rather do nothing. And so now we lead.
That's not out there looking.
So now we lead into the third issue, is that if individuals don't get this treatment, choose one of these options, well then they lose their life. You shorten their life. So you can unalive if you don't provide these hormones to trans people. Listen, if you
Wonder, let him finish. Wonder, let him finish, and then you could go.
Yeah. So on one hand, we're talking about hormones specifically for trans people and birth control, so on and so forth. That if you don't administer this treatment, their life expectancy shortens. Okay. So even if you pick neither, it's going to shorten their life, right? Which is worse, in my opinion, than a precarious period. Now, look, either way you try to look at this, right? I don't like disingenuous arguments, to be honest, and I think you've gotten into a space where you just started to become disingenuous, and so I really don't even want to engage in this anymore if you're going to be this bad faith.
I don't know if I gave a like to Kickle, but we'll say 70,000 likes. What's that? Sorry, go ahead.
Is this predicated on the fact that this is a binary option, right? 1 or 0, right? Is your scenario predicated on 1 or 0 must happen? These things will happen. If you choose one option, the other one doesn't happen.
We're talking about hormone administration. We're talking about hormone administration as a whole.
You said no. Your question was, would I rather the precarious period or pregnancy?
Yes.
What would I rather have? So this is predicated on the fact that does this need to be 1 or 0?
Hold on, man. Your audio is getting pretty bad. Your audio is getting pretty bad.
My bad.
Wonder. Your audio is getting pretty. Oh, was that from your left? Oh, that's fine. Wonder, God.
So one of these things must happen. Is that how you're explaining this? One of these things must, in fact, happen. Is that, and I have to pick the one I'd rather have? Is that
yes? Because ultimately, you're not going to stop young people from engaging in these activities. And so what you have to do is educate them and provide them with the tools and resources they need to be successful. So either you're going to have a bunch of pregnant teenagers, right? Or you're going to have a bunch of bodies stacked up at the cemetery. My question for you is, if providing this treatment, right, can mitigate harm, ought we not as a society look to mitigate that harm to the best of our ability?
I'm not gonna lie, that's a rock and a hard place question. That sounds like hell or super hell at the same time.
This is where it becomes just bad faith and disingenuous.
I'm not even being bad faith. I'm thinking about things logically. It's basically saying people are going to die. What's the thing that you think will kill the less people? Or sorry, murder the less people. That's a rough choice.
I love you got stats. You said you have stats. And guys, 70,000 likes, we can get to a new guest, okay?
Yeah, going back, first of all, that entire conversation, as Liv said, was disingenuous. But I just want to give you some stats from the William Institute and Reuters USA Trans Youth data from Komodo Health. So there are roughly 300,000 trans youth recorded in the year of 2022. That is within a 5-year window of data, right? Of that 300,000, 42,000 individuals under the age of 18 have been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Of that 42,000, only 1,390 individuals, roughly 15, were prescribed puberty blockers, right? And in regards to the 42,000 with gender dysphoria diagnoses, 4,131 were placed on cross-sex hormone replacement under the age of 18. And if you want to talk about the surgeries, like you said, only 282 recorded top surgeries were performed on like 16 or 17-year-olds. Now, bear in mind, of the 300,000, these are very, very small numbers. And I think that you would have the rationale to understand that the medical practitioners, the massive care teams that are involved with this trans youth, understands and weighs out the pros and cons that if this child does not get this medically addressed, their outcome could very well inevitably be death. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'm also thinking of it from the medical care industry that when you do that, no. When you do that, you do become a customer for life too.
We had 70,000. Goodbye.
I don't think you heard a word I just said, or anything I just said, or anything you just said.
He said he was a pre-med student. Is that what he said? I think he shouldn't be.
Transphobic and pre-med is like oil and water. I don't know why people do that.
That's a horrible mix. And he of all people should be able to understand some of these things. Like, nothing that we said was all that complex. Hey, the person that keeps calling me from the tube, when I have guests on up, I can't take a call on the tube. At this point, I think you're just doing it to annoy me, so I'm just going to block you. All right, let's get to the next guest on TikTok. Meanwhile, I blocked this person from YouTube. All right, where's the next person? So many people in the box, but I think half of them left. Give me a second here. Remember, guys, if you're enjoying the live, click the follow button on the top left, sub on YouTube, and make sure you give Olive and Liv a follow. Show them a little bit of support if you guys can. And if they're pay links from the bio, you can show support there too. All right, mods, I think you guys might have to help and bring up guests from the comments because I don't think we have anybody else in the box, it seems. Wait, I lied. Well, I don't know. It's loading. Renee, are you there? Going once, twice. All right, I'll let you load. Let me try to get to the next one. If not, all right. Yeah, mods, just try to bring up people from the comments. If you're in opposition, if you voted for Trump, if you have an issue with the LGBT plus community, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen, okay?
Can I also just clarify one thing, that when I said the 282 top surgeries per year, that was specifically in regards to trans youth. And yes, just to clarify that the overwhelming majority of top surgery is for cisgender boys who have gynecomastia. The 282 is just trans boys.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right, guys, once again, we're looking for opposition. If you're in the live and you disagree with Olive, Liv, and myself, just hit the request button, please.
Can I ask another question?
Sure. Is it about cereal again? Is it about cereal again?
It's not. If you had to pick top tier ice cream, and you only can pick between chocolate and vanilla, because those are the only two ice creams that actually exist. Okay, what anybody else says.
I would choose Haagen-Dazs vanilla.
That's a brand choice. I'm not against that. Olive, if you say chocolate, I swear to God.
What's wrong with chocolate?
I swear to God, I felt it when you unmute.
No. I like chocolate better than vanilla. It's got a little more pizzazz to it.
Okay, would you eat chocolate ice cream with apple pie?
I'm allergic to apples, so I'm biased.
Peach pie?
Vanilla. It'd be vanilla.
Peach pie, actually, yeah.
Ew.
That wasn't part
weird.
of the question, Liv. How come you're just bringing in all these other factors now?
I'm definitely judging.
Oh my. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go back on mute. That's fine.
Hey, now I'm gonna be petty. Do you know the cacao, like the largest supplier of cacao, is in I believe it's in Nigeria, and that's child labor. Olive, why do you support?
All right, you know what? Let me just go ahead and drop. Doug, thank you so much for having me.
Cancel Olive.
Wait, so where does the vanilla come from, Liv? Where does the vanilla come from?
Mexico, actually. And if you support vanilla, there is an indigenous bee that you are protecting, because these vanilla flowers are only pollinated by a particular bee found in Mexico.
Indigenous. All right, I'm just waiting for the call out live on me in T-minus 24 hours.
Yes, I already made the background.
All right, let's get to. Oh God, this is gonna be an awful conversation. Hi, David.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I came up because I need a lesson on slavery, and I noticed Liv, and he is really good at it. So, go ahead, Liv.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not what we're doing. That's not the topic.
Well, it will eventually become the topic, so go ahead, Liv.
It's not the topic. We're talking about the LGBT plus community.
Right, but we'll somehow get it to pivot to slavery.
David,
so
do you want to talk about the topic, yes or no?
Why do you hate I don't think they do. But go ahead, Liv.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. Okay? So,
well, here's what I think. Why do they hate the LGBT community? Well, what I think is that it goes back to slavery, and at that time,
David, we're talking about this topic or not? You have one more chance.
We are talking about it. I'm getting there.
Get the fuck out of here. God, I fucking hate him. He's insufferable.
He's a fan.
Absolutely insufferable. Tammy, thank you for the galaxies. I dropped them anyways. You can table that kick. Just anytime you want to kick somebody, just put it in all caps in the comments. Thank you though, Tammy. Tammy in the comments. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever had a conversation with him last much longer than a few minutes. Anyways, it's just even when he does talk on topic, it's just awful. Ian, hello.
How you doing, sir?
Good. I just need to know your age before we move forward. How old are you?
I'm 30, sadly.
30. Okay. All right. Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, that one hit me hard. So I pretty much wanted to come up here and ask the panel a question of advice.
Did you vote for Trump though?
I did in 2024, mostly just because I had visited Texas and I was like down in a lot of border towns, and the border worried me a lot. But that's not where I'm going with this.
Okay. All right. So are you going to ask a question about the topic though?
Yeah. Well, so my brother is gay, and it's kind of caused a rift in our relationship just because I mentioned that to him. It was something we never really had issues with before. Like it never seemed to be a problem. And then, it's caused a rift, and he just told me he thought it was really messed up. And I was curious if you guys could give me a little more insight on why he would feel that way. I might be ignorant, but
because you're a Yahtzee, right? You're a Confederate. You sold out the American people. You sold out your brother, who's a part of a marginalized group, and this president is doing everything to dismantle his civil free, their civil rights, freedoms, and protections.
Ian, why didn't you just talk to your brother about, like, why don't you just ask your brother why he feels that way?
He's the one that won't talk to me.
Okay.
I've tried, but that was a pretty heavy response.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're gonna have
love.
disagreement with what he said. I'm sure you will. Go ahead and respond to what he said first, then I'll bring up something else.
I just don't know why he would think that about me when he doesn't know me at all. But okay.
So, what issue came about because he's gay? You said that there became a rift or whatever. What was that about?
It basically came down to the fact that he didn't appreciate the fact I voted Republican, and I tried to explain to him I mostly just did it because of the border, because of experiences I had, and I had I was worried about how that was going, and then he has pretty much just shut himself off from me after that.
So why would the border, and I don't want to get too much into the border, but why would that be more important to you than your family member who's part of the LGBT plus community?
I don't think it's necessarily more important. What I would say is that when I go to the voting booth, I think about like things that are impacting me just like he does. And, I think about his perspective a lot, but I don't necessarily think, given like the state of the world that, they're being like persecuted,
they are being harmed though, because so if you go to was it the ACLU site?
And
yeah,
you
ACLU.
Guys will have to forgive me. He's obviously a lot more involved than I am.
All right. So if you go to the ACLU website, it maps out all of the anti-LGBT plus legislation. Chris, thank you. Hope you're doing well. It maps out all of the anti-LGBT plus legislation that is occurring currently. And it shows if they've either been introduced to Congress, if they've been passed or defeated, whatever the case might be. So currently there has been 529 anti-LGBT plus bills that have been introduced to Congress 6 months into the year. So we're on pace to go over 1,000. Last year there was high triple digits. The year before it was like 500. So this has been happening for a while.
Could I get you to repeat that site for me so I can go?
The ACLU.
Okay.
Yeah, they're.
And you said it was 529. Okay.
Yeah, so if you just type in ACLU anti-LGBT bills, you'll find it.
All right.
So it maps them out. So it maps them out. You can look at each piece of legislation. Yeah, you can map out, or you can look at each one of them. And mind you, all of these are being introduced by Republicans, not Democrats. So keep that in mind. And if any Democrat were to, I would attack them as well. So I want to make that very clear. But so clearly, what your brother is thinking is that you voted for a Republican. You're voting for people that are intentionally trying to harm the LGBT plus community.
I got you. I'm going to look that up, and I really appreciate the insight, you guys. I'm sorry. I know I'm probably like kind of ignorant, but I'm going to look that up, and I really appreciate the information, everybody.
Okay, I hope you do, and please do come back if you ever have any questions. Okay.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Take care. Have a good one. All right. I mean, we don't typically have a guest who says that they'll look into things, so I will at least take that. Obviously his vote is harmful, but I don't know. Hopefully he learns. I'll take
My bad, Austin in the chat. My bad, Austin. Friendly fire. I read that. I got you. My bad. It was a little friendly fire down in the
chat. I hate when I do that. I always feel so bad afterwards. I'm like, fuck, I'm such a piece of shit. I've done that. I've done that so many times. No, there's nobody in the request box right now. Mods, if you can invite up anybody that looks like opposition, that'd be great. People in the tube, if you're enjoying live, make sure you subscribe to me and like the live if you can. Okay.
I'm about to cause some hostility with this one. Now that we got a break, I got another question. It's
What do you got?
Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. Y'all have all the fixings. Olive, don't be on mute. You better answer. And you get to the dessert table. Okay, you have two options. Okay, you got pumpkin pie and you got sweet potato pie. You only can choose one.
Oh, come on, they're like so similar.
Which one? No, they are not. That is wild. Cancel the host right now. Where's my background maker?
They're so similar.
They're not. They're they're polar opposites of one another.
I mean, I personally would take the sweet potato though.
Okay, right on. Olive.
This is a disingenuous argument. You know what? Listen, my go-to is pumpkin, but if you put some marshmallow on the sweet potato, then I say sweet potato.
Wait, you said earlier, are you indigenous?
Yes, Taino.
Okay.
Guest, I'll get to you in a second. Hang tight, guest.
I'm gonna give you a pass because you're indigenous and I understand. I'm Jamaican and we put pumpkins in our soup and I get it. I'm just not eating no pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving.
You don't like it? You don't like it at all? Like not even a little bit?
No, I like pumpkin. Just if I got to choose between pumpkin pie and sweet potato pie all day.
I'll choose sweet potato pie as long as it's got some marshmallow fluff on top. That's all.
First of all, marshmallow fluff is racist. Like the entire, if you had to boil down racism, it would in fact be marshmallow fluff.
All right, let me get to this guest here. Let me get to this guest. Dougie, how you doing? Dougie, are you there? Guest going once. Guest going twice. Goodbye. Oh, well, you had to speak, man. Come back up. You got to be able to speak for us to hear you. That's kind of how this works. Make sure you guys give me a follow. Click in the top left if you enjoyed the live. Make sure you all send in to heart me as well, okay? That really helps just keep us on FYP, and that way we can have more conversations with guests. Do follow Liv and Olive as well, and show them a little bit of support. They're already over halfway to 1,000. Might as well get them there.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not. I don't use TikTok a lot. I'm not actually that good with it.
Oh, you're right, man. Did you vote for Trump, or are you not in America?
I'm from Scotland. I never voted for Trump.
Okay, so do you support him from over there? Like, do you think he's doing a good job?
See, to be honest, I don't really support any politicians in the current climate. Whatsoever.
All right. What are your views on the LGBT plus community?
I don't mind them whatsoever, man. I mean, live and let live. Live and let live. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do.
Okay, but why did you request to come up? Yeah, you got to
push it in schools, and they push it upon people that they don't have no business about it. Like, see,
what are they pushing in schools? What are they pushing in schools specifically?
What do you mean, and specifically? Like, I'm talking about what's been happening in schools where they're actually making it a part of the curriculum, which like I don't believe is right.
No, but be specific. What's going to be a part of the curriculum, or what is part of the curriculum?
All the things that are part of the curriculum where they're actually talking about theirs, all these different pronouns, all that kind of crap, right? I don't agree with it. Personally, I don't agree with it.
Hold on, slow down. Where's this
happening?
What do you mean?
Specifically, Great Britain, England, the
I can't
UK,
speak towards Scotland.
is right here.
Slow down. I can't speak towards Scotland. I'm only going to speak towards where I live. Okay, I don't know of any curriculum where they're specifically teaching any of these things at all. But by the way, pronouns are already taught. Pronouns are already a thing that are taught. That has been a thing.
Look, all I'm saying is, I believe any human being, right, has the right to do whatever they want to do when they become adults at 18. But see, until that point, they should be learning the basics of life in school. If they want to learn this stuff, they
are, and what is part of life is there's diversity, right? There's different types of people that you're going to run into. So it might be a good idea that in school you learn that different types of people exist. That way, when you grow up, you're not bigoted towards them because they're different.
But why? I mean, see the people that feel this way that have existed forever, and it's never ever been an issue. And like, I mean, see gay people, and like people that have got different sexualities from me and whatever, man. I mean, some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life are gay or lesbians or whatever, and it's like it's never even been a thing. I've never actually thought about that.
Okay, so what's the issue then? So what's the issue then?
Think, what a nice person.
So what's the issue then? I'm confused at what the issue is.
The issue is I don't want it being pushed in schools. I don't want it to be taught.
Okay, you have to give an
schools
example. You have
about-
to give a specific. Hold on. Give a specific example of something that's
Like, for
taught in
instance,
school.
with people with multiple personality disorder, right, when they say that they identify as a cat, and then all of a sudden in schools,
Nobody
people are
says
bringing
that.
in
Nobody
lip
says
face.
they identify as a cat. Nobody says that. That's not a thing.
Come to Scotland, come to England, you'll see.
Okay, listen. It sounds like you get your news from Facebook or something. It sounds like you just scroll through
No,
the
I don't.
Facebook
I
feed.
don't. I don't.
Well,
I don't have
you don't bother
Facebook.
to
I don't
check
have
it.
Instagram.
Okay, it doesn't matter. You don't bother to check whatever you hear. No one's identifying as a cat, and even more so, no one is saying in schools that you can be a cat. No one says that.
Literally happens in Scotland. Literally happens in
They're
Scotland.
eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Listen, dude. I can't speak for Scotland, although I highly suspect that's not happening there. But again, I'm not in Scotland. I only can speak towards where I live. It's not happening here.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree then, and I hope you have a wonderful day, right?
We can't agree to disagree on factual things or
Oh
unfactual things for that matter.
we really can. We really can.
No, we
agree to
can't.
disagree.
We can't. You can't.
Because
You can't
in my
agree to
country,
disagree.
when I've witnessed it,
Oh my
and
God,
I've
you are
seen
so
it.
annoying. You are so annoying. You can't agree to disagree on facts, right? You can't agree to disagree that 1 + 1 is 4 because it's not, right? Like there are objective answers to certain things. It's not an opinion. You guys need to learn the difference between opinions and facts. Okay? You can disagree on opinions. You can't disagree on facts. Hi, Lexi. How you doing? Lexi going once. I assume you accidentally requested. Looks like you're going on a walk. Enjoy the walk. All right, let's get to the next one. Again, we're only looking for opposition. Please, people who disagree. Make sure you give me a follow if you're enjoying live, and follow Olive and Liv as well. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Goldfish, you're loading. I'll give it like 2 more seconds. You're okay, Lexi. No worries. All right, let's get to the next one because he's just loading too much.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Oh shit! Now we have 2. All right, we'll take 2. It's fine.
Hello.
Yeah. Gold. You're good. You're good. How old are you?
Take 2.
Goldfish. How old are you? Goldfish.
Oh, I'm 17.
No.
I'm 17.
Yeah, no. All right, Alex. How you doing?
Bye.
Hey, how old are you?
39. I'm wishing to God I wasn't sometimes.
All right, fair enough. All right, do you have an issue with the LGBT plus community?
My only issue is every time I ask a lesbian out, they all pretend to be straight. But seriously, what's wrong with that man?
Oh,
I want to come up and play with some food.
I know, I get it. I hear you.
Man,
Listen,
I could have done.
Alex.
He started on this. He started on my. I have
Alex,
the
I am
ID.
just looking for opposition. I got to bring it down, guys. Please, I am only looking for opposition. I hate having to drop people. I really feel bad when I do that, but please, only opposition. Hello, Diesel.
How you doing?
Good. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Cool. And did you happen to vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Twice.
And what are your views on the LGBT plus community?
I think that if my kid was ever in that community, I'd disown him.
Why?
Lose all contact with him for good.
Why?
Because it's a disgrace. Simply disgrace.
Okay. Why?
Because I mean, I don't want to really get religion into this, but I mean,
are you a Christian?
No, go for it. Why? Why is it a disgrace?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Why is it a disgrace? I want to hear.
I mean, like, I don't want to get religion into this, but like,
no, if that's your reasoning,
in my
if that's your reasoning, go ahead and give your religious reason as to why it's a disgrace.
I mean, it's unforgivable. I think it's one of the unforgivable sins.
Why? What? But why?
What do you mean why?
I don't. I can't describe the word why to you if you don't know what why means.
I don't understand. What do you mean why? It's just unforgivable sin. So like, I'm gonna follow that.
But why? But why? Get to the reason as to why that's the case.
Because I mean, I'm a devout follower of my religion.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What's your religion?
Yeah, you go.
If you don't mind, I want to keep that between myself. That's it.
Are you a Christian?
I mean, no comment.
I'm a Christian.
Okay, that's cool.
Oh man. So you want to use a religious reasoning, but you don't want to tell us what your religion is.
Diesel.
Yeah, because I already know how this is gonna go. I think you guys are gonna come at me at my religion and what I believe in. So
Hey
like,
Diesel,
I'm not interested in
hey
that.
Diesel, hey Diesel. Are you familiar with Matthew 7 verses 1 through 5 by chance?
Thank you. See, I mean, it's already starting.
I have said absolutely nothing negative whatsoever. I asked you if you're familiar with Matthew 7 verses 1 through 5.
Are you familiar with the unforgivable sins?
You can't actually answer a question with a question, so I'd like you to answer my question.
I mean, you gotta answer my question first, though. I said,
I'm asking you, are you familiar with Matthew 7 verse 1 through 5?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it say? Just give me a synopsis.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, though, like,
can you give me a synopsis, Diesel?
I'm pretty sure he means it to an extent.
Can you synopsize it for me, just very briefly? I'll take a few sentences. That's fine.
I don't really want to do that for you. I mean, you could do it for the audience.
No, it's okay. I understand that you don't read your book, but I just want to let you know that
I know exactly what it is.
You are also committing one of the quote unquote unforgivable sins by coming up here and spewing the things
I was literally talking about my children, not my neighbor. I'm talking about my children. You know.
You don't have children, so.
I'm just talking about my future children. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you really think it's justifiable to bring a child into this world that you may potentially inevitably disown?
I think that if I bring a child into this world and they become what I don't like, I think that's all on me. It's my fault. I fail as a father, and you gotta just scrap it, you know.
That's really, really, really sad, and I pray you never reproduce. That's actually devastating. I'm so sorry.
What do you do as a father that would make someone gay?
That's pretty bold to say. I mean, you don't even know me.
No, well,
no, she just wait.
Hold on.
Doug.
Yeah, we definitely know enough to say that. We definitely know enough to say that.
She just said that I should never reproduce. That's pretty.
I agree, but I agree though.
Wow. Okay.
I agree because what you're doing an action that's going to inevitably, potentially harm a human life. I don't know why you would want to do that.
Knowing that what is the correlation between that?
Why do I have to write this out for you? It's very
a homeless
simple.
Child, Diesel, a homeless child. Let's just say your child comes out at 15 and you disown them, and then they're on the fucking streets fending for themselves.
Yeah, I would put them up for adoption or I don't know.
At 15?
Of course.
Okay, and you think that's not going to harm them psychologically?
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, I mean, I'll give them a choice, and they can choose the red or blue pill.
And what does that mean? And guys, new guest at 85,000 likes. What do you mean?
Red or blue pill? I mean, I think you should know what that means.
In this context, what does it mean?
I mean, change or go.
Change what?
I mean, sexuality or go.
So how does one change their sexuality?
I think that being gay, no one's really born gay, you know.
Okay. Well, so if you can change your sexuality, you could be gay then, right? If you wanted.
Yeah, if I wanted, yeah.
Okay, so maybe you're bisexual then.
I'm not.
Well, you're possibly bisexual then. If you could just do stuff with other guys.
I'm not.
You ever thought about it?
I mean, are you bisexual?
No.
Okay.
Diesel, I don't think you're understanding this. You didn't choose to be the sexuality that you are. You just were.
No, I most definitely did.
When did you choose to be straight? Supposedly straight.
I think everyone comes out the womb straight, no matter if you're a male or a female. And
so you didn't choose it. So you didn't choose it then.
No. I mean, I think I chose to stay straight. If that makes sense.
You chose to stay straight. So how would you become, or anyone become gay? How does that work? Tell me the process. Corrupted, thank you so much.
I'm
really
not gay.
Appreciate
How
that.
would I know?
So then you can't change your sexuality.
No, you can, but I'm not gay, so I don't
But then
know
how would you change it? So, okay, tell me the steps of how somebody would change it. That's it.
Again, I have not experienced it myself, so I mean, you would have to ask maybe Olive. Olive, are you gay?
I am pansexual. That's probably too much for your little tiny peanut brain to grasp.
right, if you're pansexual, that means that you're obviously not straight. So how did
Right. It means I date.
you
It means I date whoever I like, and I don't give a damn what's in their pants.
how did you develop to be pansexual?
Because I one day, as a young person, I just so happened to have an attraction to a woman, and I was born female, and I was like, cool. And then my parents were like, cool, that doesn't bother me. I love you because you're my child. And then I had a very happy life, and nobody's life was negatively impacted. And my parents loved me, and my grandparents loved me. And see, I'm not on the streets. How crazy is that? And guess what? That's a fucking privilege, because there's disgusting human beings like you that put their kids on the street and make them fend for themselves, all because of who they're attracted to. Do you see how disgusting? Do you see how anti-Christian that is? Do you see how foul that is?
May I ask, do you have any father issues?
My dad, I actually just left my dad's house about an hour ago. He's one of my best friends in the entire world.
I find that very hard to believe, but I'm not going to sit here and say you're lying.
Doug, one second.
you are.
Doug,
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see it, but
We are about to get to a new guest, though, Liv. But yeah, if you
yeah,
want to say something real
corrupted.
quick.
No, yeah, corrupted. That's not about this. It's about the chat. Corrupted referees said that they just sent the 2K Dragon to kick him.
Oh, yeah. So hey, corrupted. So I'm gonna kick him down here because we hit 85K. So I really do appreciate that. So it's either 2 galaxies or 20 on Cash App, Venmo, or any of those. Okay. I do appreciate it though. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's 2 galaxies or again the 20. So, but thank you once again.
Before this guest goes, I have to drop down. I'm meeting my friend for lunch, but thank you so much for having me on the panel. And I'm sorry again for crashing out earlier, but I feel like it was justified.
No, I get it. Everyone's allowed to crash out in there. Yeah, for sure.
Nice to meet you, Liv. Have a good day, guys.
Take care. Pleasure meeting you too, Olive.
Yeah, some crash outs are totally justified, for sure. All right, guys, let's get to this guest over here. We are looking for opposition only. Make sure you guys send in a heart me, just like Blue did right there. That would be great. And if you're enjoying the live, follow myself, follow Liv. Both of you are loading. I don't know what's going on. I feel like if I bring up another person, we're going to have 3 people, or all of you guys are going to load.
Hey, can you hear me?
How old are you, Gabe?
Can you hear me?
Yes, how old are you?
Me? Oh, I'm 21. I'm 21.
What year were you born? Yeah.
What year was that?
Yeah, I took too long to answer that. I figured it was probably child, but sometimes people who are adults have a high-pitched voice, so I thought, at least I'll ask. Megan, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey, you have some background noise. Is there a way that you can?
Okay, hold on. I got my TV on. Sorry.
You're okay. Okay. How old are you, Megan? I just need to know for TikTok terms of service.
I'm 27.
Okay, and do you have an issue with the LGBT plus community?
Oh, no, I didn't realize you were just taking people that argue, and I thought other people, other people in the, I saw other people in your chat helping.
Yeah,
helping.
Yeah, we're just looking for opposition, but no, I appreciate it, Megan. No, you're good. Take care. Yeah, guys, just again, we're only looking for ops. All right, let's bring that. The child was Gabe, right? Was it Gabe, the one who was the child? You re-requested. Okay, so yeah, Gabe, stop re-requesting. If you do it again, I'm going to block you. All right, what up? Maybe you're going to load this time, maybe, but I'm not going to bring you up again. This is the last time. Oh, if you guys want to join Discord as well, you can. The link is in my bio. I do announce there ahead of time when I go live. We have a pretty good community in there. I don't know how many we have in there, but it's like 700 something. Yeah, you're also like a kid.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much we have in Discord. It might be 700, 800. I don't know. But yeah, if you guys want to join, go ahead. Links in the bio. All right, we have nobody else in the box that's up. So if you are in opposition, please request. And mods, if we can try to invite people from the chat on up, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
I do have a follow-up question.
What do you got?
It's a problematic take. I'd love to get your perspective. Tomatoes, nothing but a fruit smoothie. Ketchup, specifically. I'm sorry. Ketchup is nothing but a fruit smoothie. Because tomatoes are a fruit.
I hear what you're saying. I actually don't even like ketchup. I know people are gonna really hate me for that, but I don't like ketchup. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, I don't like mustard. I don't like ketchup. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yeah, I've heard this one before. I mean, I guess it depends on your definition of a sandwich. I mean, there's a bread and something in between, so I would say by definition, sure. It doesn't feel like a sandwich, though. That's the thing.
False. A sandwich is 2 segmented pieces of bread. Salsa is fruit salad, yes. I agree.
What do you mean? Wait, 2 segments? Let me pull it up.
2 segmented pieces of bread. That's what a sandwich is.
All right, so if you broke the hot dog the end of the bun and it wasn't a continuous thing, then it would be a sandwich, right?
Yeah, but now it's not because it's a hot dog bun, so it's not a sandwich. It's a hot dog taco.
I'm gonna look up definition of sandwich. But I think this changes person to person. A sandwich is a dish consisting of fillings like meat, cheese, or vegetables placed between 2 or more slices of bread or inside a split roll.
I disagree with that definition.
Why? Why is that? Why does that not work?
Yeah, because I said it doesn't. You know, when I was in Bulgaria, they had these like super long hot dogs, right? Like they was like a foot long, yeah. Right? And they would take them and they would stuff them into this big piece of it's like a croissant, but it's like it's a hot dog bun, but it's their version of a hot dog bun. It's a croissant, right? Mm-hmm. And on the inside, they would squirt mayonnaise and ketchup.
Gross.
And like mustard. Yeah.
Ew. That does not sound good.
Yeah. It was a thing. Yes, pizza is pie.
You know, I'm gonna get disagreement on this one. I don't call deep dish pizza. Like I just don't. It's just not pizza. I think it's good. I am from Chicago, and so you would think I would love deep dish pizza. I think it's good, but I don't consider it a pizza. It's like it's a pasta dish, if anything.
That's definitely not pizza. No, that's like lasagna with no noodles.
Yeah. It's good, but it's just not pizza.
It's lasagna. Oh my God! Greg Gonzalez says they said it's lasagna cheesecake. Oh man.
All right, hey, people on YouTube, you can call on in now. We don't have anybody else on up, so if you want to call the number, you can do so. You guys are saying a lot of dumb stuff in YouTube. I forget how stupid you guys are. Some of these dumb things. 2 men cannot have a baby. Okay, so the LGBT plus population is made up of more than just 2 men. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yes, they still can. They can adopt. They can do other things. It's a weird thing to say. Stop talking about your hometown, Chicago. I was born and raised there. I was born and raised in Chicago area, I'll say.
I'm like 45 minutes away from Chicago.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, last time I was there was last year. Yeah. It was nice. I can't go there in the winter though. Fuck the winters. Never want to deal with it. I never want to deal with the winter again in the north.
Never. Nobody ever asked you. I didn't ask you to bring that up because I'm still here and where I am in Milwaukee, and I still have to deal with it. So I don't care about your sunshine and your humid weather and your warm winters. Like nobody cares about that. Nobody cares.
The summers here are rough though in Tampa, or I guess just any part of Florida. I cannot
Tampa
right now. Yeah, I mean, I hate it. The summer right now. It's just awful. The moment I leave wherever I am, I'm sweating.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Christian, and I do like if there was a rapture, right? Like I would hope that God would send the meteor directly to Florida. Like just do it for me for one time, just one time to Florida. Like
as long as I get out of there before it hits, I need time to leave here.
Well, protect the peoples that I agree with, but for the other ones, you know the ones I'm talking about. Send the media. Matter of fact, you know what? Don't send the media. You know what you should do? Send the 10 plagues of Egypt. Okay? 10 plagues of Egypt. Just sitting at the Florida, make an example. You know?
Hey, I support that. Hey, Noah Brown, I invited you on up. Come on up. Again, guys, if you are in opposition, if you disagree with the background prompt, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen. There we go. Hey, Noah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I just need to know your age before we move forward. How old are you?
I'm 27. I was born August 31st, 1998.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
What's your social?
So your comment said, I'm married to a non-binary partner, and I'm also a Christian, so being Christian actually teaches against hate, not for it. So did you vote for Trump? No?
I did, but
Okay.
I kind of regret it.
Okay, and we can get to that because I assume you regret it for reasons that aren't related to this topic. Why did you, in relation to this, because you have a non-binary partner, why did you vote for Trump knowing that he was going to do things that would harm the LGBT plus community?
So this is kind of a hot take, but the way that I saw it at the time was that the Biden administration was not furthering the LGBT community as well. I mean, policies were enacted under Biden that were very anti-LGBT. Like, for instance, laws that were passed in Tennessee, Texas, other states like that, that wouldn't allow people to have freedom of expression to wear.
Wait, that has nothing to do. Wait,
clothing that they want to wear.
Biden doesn't control legislation to those states.
Well, I'm just saying under the Biden administration, so he didn't stop that from happening.
Right? What would he be able to stop, though, specifically?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not enough in the know as to how it works in that way.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to stop state laws or anything like that. And listen, I think Biden should have done more for the LGBT plus community. So I have some agreement there. However, though, I think doing whatever he did or whatever Democrats do, which is still not enough, it's not explicitly harming the community as Republicans do.
Right. So at the time, my thought process was that there's not going to be any difference because Biden isn't making enough of a difference. So what's more important is economic, because of how the economy was doing at the time. I kind of bought into that Kool-Aid, so to speak, that he would have been a better president economically. And although there are some policies that he has enacted that I do think have been better for the economy, I don't think it's better for the economy in the long run.
I hear what you're saying.
Like, for instance, I agree with the no tax on overtime, but that's like one of many things that he's doing. So I don't think it's enough.
So the thing with his first term is this. He got in at a very, very good time, okay? We saw at the end of the Obama administration, things were going really well with the economy. In general, things were good. And Trump came in at a very good time. Unemployment was already on its way down at that point, well on its way down. So he was able to have that under his administration. Gas prices are already really low. If you look at gas prices under the last 2 years of Obama, they were mid-twos. And that's exactly what it was under Trump. So it didn't go any lower.
They were like 5, 6s.
What's up?
They were like $5 to $6 at the end of his term.
Obama? No, I have the gas prices here in front.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Biden.
No, but even under Biden's term, it still wasn't 5. At summer of 2022, it was 5. But by the end of Biden, it was 3.19. That's when Trump came in. It was 3.19.
Okay, maybe the gas prices were wacky where I live. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, let's get back to the topic. I don't want to get off from it. So you said because they're not doing enough, therefore I'm just going to vote for somebody else who's going to harm them?
No,
I don't get that logic.
Not, well, it's more so that I'm seeing them both as being destructive on that front. So instead, I'm going to go for a president who I think is going to do something constructive, at least for the economy.
What are Democrats doing that's destructive?
Well, like I was saying, a lot of those bills being passed under Biden, he wasn't doing enough.
Were they Democrats?
Were
they Democrats? Were they Democrats that put forward those bills?
No, but if you're not stopping it, then
the president can't stop state laws.
Anyway.
The president cannot stop state laws.
It's not just state laws either, though. It's like like the overturnement of Roe v. Wade and things like that.
Biden wouldn't be able to control that. Like what?
Okay. Again, I'm uneducated on this, so.
But the issue with being uneducated on it is, well, I think that's a problem. I think the worst part of it is you acted on that and you voted for somebody based on this misinformation, right? Because Biden can't control, the Supreme Court's decision. The state laws he can't control, and that wouldn't be in his hands.
I agree with you, and again, I do regret my decision.
Do you plan on voting in the midterms and the next election?
Yes.
Okay.
But I would like to make a more informative decision this time around.
I hear you. All right, let me read a Venmo out loud real quick. David, thank you for the 5 on Venmo. It says, Noah was like, well, Biden didn't invade Texas, so I guess I'll vote for Satan. Like, what the fuck? Thank you, David. I appreciate you. Listen, man, you said you regret your vote, so I really don't know what else to say to you right now. I think, it was harmful for the LGBT plus community, your vote, but you regret it, so hopefully you just get more informed next time, I guess. Liv, do you want to say anything else, Tim? Because I don't really have much else. Liv, you there? All right, he's not there. All right, Noah. I guess if we don't have anything else, I'll just bring you down. Okay?
Yeah, no, I ain't got nothing.
All right, no, you're good. All right, Noah, take care. All right. I didn't know what else to say to him, guys. I mean, it wasn't really a debate at that point.
Like I understand, Republicans and Democrats both hold pew-pews, right? The question is, who's aiming their pew-pew and pew-pewing at you, and who's just holding it? I take the person that's just holding it over somebody pew-pewing at me.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, like, do we want them to not have one in the first place? Sure, but we have to choose. We got to be able to choose between one of them, because one of them's gonna happen either way. Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. There might be some of you in the comments, but I understand there are people who are on the far left that just didn't want to participate in an election because they just saw, Harris as being part of the system as well and all that. And I don't know. I just can't get behind that. I can't. Like, I understand the system is broken, and I get it. We should have a different system. However, though, we still currently exist within the system, and I would like to be able to make the best of it, right, and cause the least harm as possible. I just wouldn't want people to suffer more because of the action that I did. I just feel like you can do a simple vote. It's not that hard to vote, and you can put that towards people suffering less. So I don't know. I couldn't consciously just sit out an election. I just couldn't do that. And if you are opposition, hit the request button. Come on up. Fed into a lot of misinformation that he was the lesser of evils. I think a lot of people did know. Go ahead, Liv.
I think that I've been persuaded to be a conservative now, because they're really serving the American people. Like the exclusion of all minority groups, the horrible. I mean, the destruction of our economy. I mean, you couldn't ask for better,
Hey, I'm getting a phone call on YouTube. So, Liv, just to let you know, they won't be able to hear you, unfortunately, because they're calling.
That's cool. I was actually going to hop down anyways. Okay. Thanks for having me up. Also, Doofy is just in the chat. Doofy is that dude from Dean's Live, who said that he wanted to ask what was wrong with touching children.
Yeah,
just so you know, Doofy in the chat.
Okay, I appreciate it, Liv. All right, man. Take care. Make sure you guys give him a follow, okay? All right, guys, what's up? What's going on? Are you there? Hello? Yeah, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. I just need to know your age before we move forward, please.
45.
All righty. And did you happen to vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your views on the LGBT plus community?
Well, I don't think it's really hate just because people disagree with it. I guess that'd be my first thing I'd say.
Okay. What is it you disagree with?
I mean, I disagree with a lot of things, I guess. I don't agree with giving puberty blockers to children, teaching them that kind of stuff.
Okay. So, do you have opinions on other, medical decisions that are made for people under the age of 18?
Yeah, unnecessary medical things. Yeah, okay. Definitely.
So how did you come to the conclusion that it's unnecessary?
because there's no reason why it would be necessary.
But do you know the reasons why they do it?
I mean, to give people, because they think that they're something they're not.
So, first of all, most of the people that get puberty blockers aren't even transgender people. They're actually people who have precocious puberty. If you know what that is, it's where puberty starts way too early, and it could cause a lot of physical issues with them. And so, most of the people who get puberty blockers are those people, and puberty blockers have been studied for decades and decades and decades. Now, when it comes to trans people,
well, they haven't been studied for decades and decades and decades.
Yes, they have.
They just,
so puberty,
haven't been doing it for that long.
puberty blockers, when it comes to precocious puberty, have been studied for decades, since like the 80s, I believe. We're not talking about trans people here.
I don't know about that.
But I'm just telling, that is true. I'm not making that up. I mean, you're welcome to look it up. I'll pull it up on screen over here in a second. But yeah, it's been studied for decades. So now when it comes to trans people, not nearly as many people, not nearly as many kids actually get these things as you guys like to think. It's actually pretty rare that it happens, but they get it in where they're in a scenario where they've tried everything else, right? They have gender dysphoria. It's severe enough where they need to get it because it lowers the rates of them self-unaliving, and that's essentially their last option.
Well, studies actually, there's been limited studies on that, and even the studies on that aren't really favorable for it. Most of the studies show like a slight decline for a short period of time, 6 months to a year, and then after that it comes right back to the same.
What studies do you have that shows that?
I mean, the studies that are out there, that's what they show.
Yeah, so I mean, the research does show that when they do get gender-affirming care, that their self-unaliving rate, depression, substance abuse lowers quite significantly, actually. So I don't know where you get that. It just ends up the same. I mean, I would be interested to see that study, if you have that study.
Unaliving from the studies, I don't know what the studies were right off the top of my head, but the studies I've seen show that it declines for about 6 months to a year and then goes right back to about where it was.
Well, again, I would have to see the studies because we're just kind of going off of what you're saying. But also, I have it here.
Yeah, same with the studies you're saying. I mean, same thing.
Well, but I have mine here, and I can pull them up, and I will. I'll pull them up on screen. I'm happy to do that. I have all my sources laid out. So.
Yeah, I mean, the studies that are there are limited studies, and a lot of them are biased one way or the other anyway. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to really gather.
Well, then what's the point of looking at research?
From that.
Well, if you're saying that it's biased, what's the point of looking at research to begin with?
Well, I mean, any study can be somewhat biased. You're going to have to kind of take that, who's doing the study and what are they trying to gain from it.
But then again, why cite any study then, if that's the case? If you think that they could potentially be swayed in one direction, why look at them at all?
So, I mean, are you actually saying you think all studies are just 100% legitimate? There's no biasing in any studies? I mean, you can't really believe that, right?
No, not at all. I think there's a lot of middle ground between what you're saying, though. Of course, there can be issues with studies, but they have to make known where they get their funding from. They have to make that known. If there's conflicts of interest, that has to be known as well.
I mean, if a child comes up to a parent and says, "Hey, I think I'm a pirate, so I want to chop off my leg and have a peg leg," like that wouldn't be something you would do, would it?
Yeah, so that's not a thing that happens.
Right, but it's the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing because being trans is a thing that's always existed. Being trans is not a new thing. Trans people have existed for as long as humans have existed. We know being trans is a.
People think that they're the opposite sex.
They're not thinking they're opposite sex. That's not even what trans means. All transgender means is that they
think they're the opposite gender.
No, because they don't think they are. What being transgender is that your gender and sex don't align. That's all it is. So they're not thinking that they are. Just like when you were young and you knew you were a boy, that's how they know that they are a girl or boy or whatever it is in this case. That's how they know. That's how confident they are.
They think that, but they're not that. So,
so what? Okay,
them saying that they are doesn't make it a fact.
Okay, so
there's no evidence to support it.
Okay, so as far as gender goes, what makes a man a man?
Biology.
Okay, what about biology?
Sex and gender are the same thing.
Exactly the same thing?
They're not two separate categories.
Are sex and gender exactly the same thing?
I mean, a woman is a adult female.
But I'm asking you, can sex and gender be used interchangeably in every situation?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to regret saying that in a second. So you're telling me if I have a dog that's a male, it's a man?
We're talking about humans.
Okay, but you said sex and gender. Right, exactly. So sex and gender are not the same thing, and gender doesn't apply to dogs because they don't have gender.
If you have a male dog, it's a he, not a she.
Well, no, hold on, but we're portraying gender upon them because we do that sometimes. We humanize things, right? We do that with pets. Okay, but they don't inherently have gender, dogs. We have gender. It's only specific to humans.
Okay.
Right? So having said that, sex and gender would not be exactly the same thing.
Then a dog doesn't have gender, you're saying, so...
Correct. Yeah, there is no gender. There's no... Well, no, because there's a difference between... They have sex, obviously. There are things that would define their sex, right? But they don't have gender.
Okay, so if something has sex and a gender, then those are the same, then they're the same thing. Like, if you're a male, you're a man. If you're a female, you're a woman.
Well, that's still not the case because a 3-year-old male is not a man. He's a boy.
Well, he's a boy, yeah. You go from boy to man.
Right, but boy and men are two different things. Boy and men and girl and women are two different things.
Right, based on your age.
Sure. So, but again, that just goes to the point that gender is...
But their sex and their gender still align.
Yeah, with cis people, they align, sure, yeah.
With all people, they align.
Well, no, they don't, because again, you're not telling me specifically what makes a man a man. So what is it?
Biological male.
Let me ask you this: what is it that all men have, cis men have, that excludes trans men from having that? Like, what's the one trait that all
biological males?
But so you're telling me, so being male is a requirement to be a man?
Yeah.
But then again, with the 3-year-old, that's a boy.
Well, he's not a man.
Well, exactly. So sex and gender don't exactly align. So you can't say the prerequisite to being a man is being a male.
Yeah, because a boy is not a man.
Right. That's my point.
You said to be a man, you have to be a male. I said to be a man, you have to be a male, and then you said, well, a boy isn't a man.
Correct. They are not. Yes, that would be correct. Men and boys are different.
From male boy to male man, from female girl to female woman.
Well, okay, but again, that shows that gender is not a set thing, right? And it's not exactly one and the same of sex.
It is.
But then you can't go from girl to woman then. Those are two different things.
Girl to woman is age. Has nothing to do with gender.
Right, but gender, but right. That's why gender is a psychosocial construct, because it's going to change and it's different, right? How we view men is very different than how we view men 300 years ago. Men 300 years ago wore wigs and makeup and high heels. Today, men don't do that typically. So even gender within our own country has changed over time. Gender is not a fixed thing.
What did you say?
You didn't hear anything I just said there?
You just said something about men wearing makeup years ago?
Oh my gosh. 300 years ago, men, they wore makeup and wigs and high heels. They don't do that now typically. So even within our own country, gender has changed over time. How we view men is very different.
Fashion trends change.
What's that?
Fashion trends change.
Right, but exactly. But how we portray men then is very different than how we portray men now. Same with women, right? How we portray women now is different than we portrayed women 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It changes over time.
Were they portrayed 200, 300 years ago in two separate categories, distinctive from each other?
No, what I'm saying is gender is not a fixed thing. That's why it's not one and the same as sex. Sex is the same as it was 300 years ago.
You're saying, right?
Psychosocial construct. Yeah, so...
Yeah, gender identity is a social construct.
Right.
Yeah, we've literally seen it socially constructed to this crazy idea that we have today.
Right, but you're not... Right, so if you're agreeing that's a psychosocial construct, then what takes away from someone like a trans woman from being a woman or a trans man from being a man?
I'm saying that gender identity and preferred pronouns are a social construct.
So what disqualifies them from being men or women?
They're biologically not male or female.
Okay, so what is the thing they don't have? Give me that one thing they don't have.
If you're biologically a male, you're either a boy or a man.
Answer the question. What's the one thing that they don't have? What's that one trait?
They don't have the same chromosomes. They don't have the same reproductive system.
Okay. We'll go off chromosomes.
Biologically, the sex that they claim
Okay.
they are.
Okay. So we'll go off chromosomes. So what chromosomes do they have to be a man?
If you're male, you're born with chromosomes. If you're female, you're born with different chromosomes. It's not.
And what are those? And what are those?
Do you not know?
No, I'm asking you. What are those chromosomes that you have to be a man?
You do know that there are biological differences between men and women, right?
What? Yeah, sure. So what are the chromosomes that they have to be a man?
You do know this, or you're asking me?
I'm asking you.
You know this, so I'm not sure why you're asking.
I'm asking you. What are the chromosomes they have to be a man?
And you know that there are two separate. I mean, you know that there's a difference, right?
If you can't answer it, just say you can't answer it. It's okay.
I'm not going to play games with you.
Okay, so you don't know it. So how can you say they have to have certain chromosomes if you don't know what the chromosomes are?
Who said I don't know? You're the one who brought it up.
Because you're not answering the question and you're trying to avoid it. That's something that people do when they don't know the answer.
Well, no, because you're asking me questions that you know there's an answer to. You know what the answer is. So I'm not really sure why you're asking me.
Because you're making the claim that you have to have a specific chromosomes rather, to be a man. So I'm asking you what those are.
I'm saying that there is biological males and there's biological females. A biological male cannot become a woman.
Okay, they're not becoming it, but again, you're telling me that one of the things that they have to have are chromosomes. What are those chromosomes?
You're saying, well, if they're not becoming it, then how are they transitioning?
What are their chromosomes? We're not going to get past this question.
How are they transitioning?
We're not going to get past this question. What are those chromosomes? You're not going to pivot away from it. What are those
transitioning though if they're not?
What are their chromosomes? We are not moving past it.
X and XY. You already know this.
So
I'm not sure why you're asking.
Which one's XX? What's the one that men have to have?
Do you seriously not know this?
Dude, just answer the question. It's not that difficult.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm asking. Why are you asking me a question?
Because, oh my God, for like the fourth time, you're claiming they have to have a specific chromosome to be a man. So it's only natural for me to ask you what that chromosome is. We have to get specific here.
I already told you.
You said there's XX and XY. Which one has XX? Which one has XY? Just answer the question, man.
What's your point?
Okay. So men have to have XY, right? That's a requirement?
It's typical along with having male reproductive system, yeah.
Okay. So they have to have a certain chromosome to be a man. Now, let me ask you this. When you see somebody in the restroom, right, do you know what their chromosomes are if you're in the men's restroom?
No, but you're looking at somebody you can 90% of the time, 90-some% of the time tell if they're a man or a woman.
Okay, so then that's not the thing that dictates what a man is. Because unless they got karyotyped, they won't know what their chromosomes are. Unless you got karyotyped, you wouldn't know. Now, you can guess and probably be mostly accurate and most of the time, but there's obviously going to be situations in which you're not. There's different chromosomes. There's many different.
A doctor can tell this when you're born. It's
No. They don't do karyotypes. They don't do that. Yeah. No. Yeah, they don't do karyotypes at birth though. They don't know what your chromosomes are.
No, they can look and see what's between your legs.
They take a logical guess. They take a logical guess. Yes.
It's not a logical guess. It's known.
Okay, but they don't know the chromosomes. The point is that you say that you have to have specific chromosomes to be a man. But that's not the thing that you look at when you see a man.
It's one factor.
Okay, but there are people.
Going on between your legs.
Okay, we can get to that. There are people though. There's different chromosomal variations where there are people who look exactly like how a man typically does. Right? They may be a big person. They have a beard, etc., but they don't have the typical chromosomes men have. That's a thing that some people have. So would that person not be a man?
Okay. Well, it's like saying that humans are born with 2 arms.
Uh-huh.
But if somebody's born with less than 2 arms, doesn't make them non-human. It makes them exception to the rule.
Well, exactly. Then the requirement to being a human is not having 2 arms. Then, so in this case, if there's people that have,
but it's still a valid statement to say that humans have 2 arms.
Yes, but then you can't say all men have XY chromosomes. So that wouldn't be the requirement then. So what else do they have?
Say all humans have 2 arms. That's a valid statement.
No, because not all humans have 2 arms. That would not be accurate. All means all. That's a specific word. All means all. I don't know how else to explain it.
Right, an exception to the rule doesn't change the rule.
No, but then you can't say all. You can say most men, or most humans, or typical humans, whatever, right? But you can't say all. That's it. That's all I'm saying. You're right. Exceptions don't make the rule.
All men are biological males.
What's that?
All men are biological males.
You said that already, and I asked you what biological means, and you said chromosomes. We've already gone over that. Not all men, not all.
Chromosomes, your reproductive system.
Okay. All right. We'll get to the other things. We'll get to, and guys, we can get to new guests at 100,000 likes. Sorry, I've been talking a while. So listen. But we've already said that there's exceptions. There's people who have every other trait that a man would have, but they have different chromosomes. So what else do they have to have? You said body part. What is it? You said reproductive. What is it? They have to have a penis.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you cut off your penis, you're not a man anymore?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so then the requirement to being a man is not having a penis.
Well, it's a bunch of different categories, and you're checking them off.
All right, how much of these do you have to have to be a man? That's fine. How many of these things do you have to be a man?
You're gonna have the majority of them.
You're
gonna have at least some.
You have to have the majority of them. So how many different traits are we talking about?
Well, I mean, you're either like, okay, so if you chop off your penis, it doesn't mean you have a vagina.
Right. Yeah.
So you wouldn't be a woman then?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what anybody's saying. What I'm trying to get at here is you're saying there's different traits that make a man, right? And you said chromosomes, you said reproductive organs. But again, there are different, there are people that don't have those things. So what I'm trying to get at, that when we're talking about gender, it's clearly not an objective thing. It's clearly subjective, right? Because you say they have to.
You mean you're trying to make it subjective?
No, you're making it subjective because you're telling me they have to have certain traits, but there are people that don't have those traits. And you're telling me, well, they have to have most of the traits.
You just mentioned if a man chops off his penis, well, then he had a penis, right?
But he's still right. So if somebody's born with, if you were born without a penis, you had everything else that you have, would you still be a man?
You don't have a penis. You don't have testicles. I mean, do you have a vagina?
You were just born without a penis. You were just born. Are you still a man? Yes. Let's say they have a vagina.
No penis, no testicles.
Let's say they have a vagina instead. Are they a man? What are they?
If they have a vagina, well, then they're a woman.
Oh, got it. So everything else that they have, so they look like, so they have facial, as they grow up, they have facial hair, they have a lot of muscle, they're a big person. They have everything else a man typically has, but a vagina. Now they're a woman?
Well, they were observed to be a woman at birth if they have a vagina.
So it's clearly subjective then, because you're saying now it's only the body part, whereas before you said it was it's chromosomes and it was other things. Now it's just strictly body parts that make it. So you already changed it within the conversation.
Well, that's the first thing doctors don't sit there and go, oh, let's check their chromosomes.
Right.
We're not sure based on their genitalia what genders they are.
Exactly.
No,
so
they are sure based on their genitalia what gender they are.
Exactly. So gender is not something that's objective, and they're just making a guess. That's all they're doing. It's not an objective thing.
No, it's an observation of an objective fact. Either you have male genitalia or you have female genitalia.
Okay. Who are you to say that that person's a woman just because they have a vagina, but they have every other trait a man would typically have? How does that make it so just because you say it?
How does it make it not?
Right. So it's personal. It's personal based on the person, right? So if right now you had a vagina instead of a penis, but you had everything else that you had, and somebody then started treating you as a woman, would you like that? Would that make you feel good?
I mean, it wouldn't really matter whether I liked it or not. I don't control what other people do or don't do.
I understand that, but if you were labeled as a woman because of that, that wouldn't feel right, correct? Because you're a man. And it has nothing to do with your body parts. But it has nothing to do with your body parts because, again, if you had a vagina instead of a penis, you still would consider yourself a man.
If I had a vagina, would I consider myself a man? No, I never said that.
So you'd be a woman?
If I had a vagina, yeah.
Oh, really? That's odd. So if you go into so if you went into the restroom, if you went to the women's restroom looking how you do now, you'd be seen as a woman. You would walk in and people say, "Oh, that's a woman walking in." Really? That's weird. And you wouldn't do that either.
Well, if I have a vagina, it'd be an objective fact that I would be a woman.
No, because the prerequisite to being a woman is not having a vagina. We've already gone over this. And again, we don't dictate people's gender by their genitalia, right? If someone walks into the restroom and they look like a man, again, they have facial hair, they have all that stuff, and they don't see your body part down there, they would say you're a man. And you would too. You would 100% too say that that person would be a man.
There ain't a whole lot of trans men that actually look like men, or a whole lot of trans women that actually look like women.
Okay,
well, usually you could tell the difference.
Okay, well, there are some. Number one, you got somebody hated you so much they paid to kick you, so goodbye. Trace, let me pull this up. Tracy, thank you so much for the 25 on Venmo. Let me go ahead and read it real quickly. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second here. All right, W. Tracy. It says, you can read this if you'd like. Okay, so I'll read it. Wouldn't cut the conversation the guest had the cognitive ability to comprehend, but he doesn't or won't. He needs to get off TikTok and go take a biology class. You're groovy Doug. Thank you, Tracy. You're the best. Thank you so much. I just feel like, I didn't even see the comments during it. I was looking down most of the time, but I feel like the goalpost moved quite a bit during that conversation. I think the whole point of that conversation was that it's subjective to the person. So he would label himself as a woman, right? But other would view him and probably not as a woman. So it's not an objective thing. All right, let's get to the next guest. We're looking for ops, okay? Hey, and goodbye. All right, guys, we're looking for ops. If you're friendly, please drop. I don't think we have any more in the request. Well, wait. Oh, God damn it. I don't want to talk to him. What's up, King?
Hey, how's it going? Could I make a comment about the topic?
Hold on. Let me see if this other guest is in opposition. Hey, Tiki, are you there? Tiki? Okay. All right. What is it, King? What do you got?
Yeah, man, I just kind of hate the community because everything nowadays has to turn gay. Like the banks are gay, the teams are gay. They gotta wear the gay pride flag. The businesses got to come out and say, "Hey, we're gay this month." It's like, dude, that just kind of.
Who says that? Who the fuck says that, dude? Never heard that. You're just making shit up. You're honestly just making shit up.
What are you talking about? All the businesses?
If anybody doesn't know, I don't take him seriously when he comes up.
Okay, well, Doug, again.
It's hard to take you seriously, and I mean this in the most politest way. I just think you have a very low IQ. You can't grasp many concepts. I've talked to you so many times. I'm not trying to be mean. I just think you have a very low IQ. Ken, how you doing?
I'm up here by mistake.
You're okay, Ken. Take care. I'll bring you down, okay? All right. Let's get to the next one, hopefully. Hello. How you doing?
Oh. Can I debate on you with something?
How old are you?
13.
No. Megan, I think you probably accidentally requested. Guys, we're looking for ops. If you are opposition, hit the request button at the bottom of the screen. Mods, if you can help invite people. Megan, you're friendly, right? No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, sorry.
Take care. You're okay. I've got you. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a good Friday so far. If you all can continue to tap and share, that would be great. Send in a heart me if you haven't already done so. Let me see here. Okay, cool. Where are we at? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. I tend to do that quite a bit. An 8-year-old requested to come out to cameras this weekend. I've been the same since an 8-year-old. Jesus. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Again, if you guys want to join Discord, you are welcome to do that. The link is in my bio. Got a very good community there, but I do announce ahead of time when I go live. I got this on the TikTok shop, by the way. You guys see me playing with this? It's really cool. Spins. And then when you put it together, it clicks. I love this thing. I got sold hard on this. I was swiping through and I saw like an ad for this, like a video or whatever, and they just made it look so cool. I had to get it, and it is very cool. Very happy with my decision. YouTubers, again, if you want to subscribe, you're welcome to do so. If you can continue to like the live, that would be great. Looks like we got a good amount of people watching on. Well, not now. We did. We had 100+ people watching on YouTube for a bit, which is pretty high for YouTube. So that's pretty cool. And we're over 10,000 views for YouTube overall. That's very good. Nice stuff. Yes, it's a very ADHD purchase, big time. My mouth is very dry. How many new followers? I don't know, because it's not going to tell me right now because I've already clicked on it. Right now it's 12, but it's more than that because it was like 40 something when I clicked on it before. So I don't know, 60 or so. I used to have a goal of getting 100 new followers alive, but the lives became slow for a while, so it wasn't really feasible anymore. However, though, if you are watching, please do subscribe. What other debates do I do? Well, I do this one somewhat often. I'll just do one just on the Trump administration, talking about that. I also talk about seed oils a lot. And just nutrition-based things. But yes, I do seed oil debates. And along with that, raw milk, artificial sweeteners, and soy. We get a lot of interesting people in those lives. We just don't think that our children should have it forced on their throats. What is going to be forced on their throats, Jamie? I understand that's a line you guys love to say, but what would that be? What's being forced on their throats? Your agenda into our children's minds. Dude is like deathly afraid that his kid is going to be gay one day. He's deathly afraid of that. You got to work that out on your own, Josh. You got to really work that one out on your own. And you shouldn't have kids, honestly. You really shouldn't. There's always going to be a chance that your kid is going to be gay or lesbian, trans, or whatever. And if you're going to treat them poorly because of that, then you shouldn't have kids. Corn on the cob the long way. Last time I was in Chicago, a year ago. It was almost exactly a year ago, actually. Again, you can call on YouTube. The number is being posted in the comments. You guys are welcome to call on in. Am I from? Yeah, I understand. If you're not from the city, you can't say Chicago. I'm not technically from the city, but I lived in the city for a bit. Hi.
Sorry, mate. It's windy outside.
Yeah, sure, that happens. How old are you?
I'm 67 and a half.
What's your real age?
67 and a half.
Nah, I'm good. Goodbye. He blew into his phone and he tried telling us it was wind. Like, who the fuck did he think he was speaking to? Yeah, it's definitely not wind. Oh gosh. We can read some of the YouTube comments, guys. They're very entertaining, I promise. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, they love repeating this one. I haven't heard it in a while, but I'll read this comment. It says, and Joe Biden even admitted to it in front of a room of reporters when he said, I told Shokin you'll get the $1 billion when you do what you're supposed to. If anybody knows what he's referring to, it was when Obama was president, when they're trying to get rid of the corruption there in Ukraine. And then I don't remember when Biden said this, but yeah, it was totally based on the premise that he would leave. Yeah, right? But there's no, what corruption are you talking about? There was no corruption there. The entire United States, Europe, they were all behind getting rid of this person and getting rid of the corruption there in Ukraine. That was the main reason why they were there. And mind you, he wasn't even investigating Hunter Biden at that time, if that's what you're insinuating. He wasn't even investigating him. There was literally no ulterior motive to that. I want to know why you think MAGA hate intersex people. I'm not MAGA. Okay, I don't know what you want me to say, man. Well, that's true too. Yeah, Trump can literally do things just way out in the open, and somehow that's okay. It's justified, whatever the case is. But they like wrap themselves into a pretzel to tell themselves that Biden did something. I don't know, guys. We may not get another guest right now. E-Scooter, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Please do yourself a favor and quit consuming all the Fox News red pill. Well, I assume that's not being spoken to me. What other good comments do we get? None of us hate the LGBT plus community. Some might not agree, but there's no hate. Sure there is. Every time I do this live, there are people who explicitly say that they do. What we don't like is having it pushed in ours. I assume you meant to say throat, but you didn't say it. In our kids' faces everywhere we go, or give special accommodations. Okay, there are no special accommodations given to gay people or trans people or anything, unless you can point to one. And it's not everywhere. You just see it, and you're just falling victim to like a confirmation bias type of thing. It's like when you get a new car or something, and all of a sudden you start seeing that car on the road. It's not like people all of a sudden just got that car. You just notice it more because it's not your car. And when it comes to this stuff, they have clearly a lot of gay stuff on their mind. They clearly think about the flag a lot, so they look for it. And so every time they see it, they think, oh my God, this is everywhere. Just wondering where those studies are you said you had on puberty blockers. Sure. You know you can look those up too, guys, right? You guys know you can go to Google Scholar and just type in puberty blockers, and you can get those studies, right? Like, it's really not that difficult to look things up. You guys make it seem like it's the hardest thing ever. But yeah, sure, I can pull it up. Yeah, early 1980s. Puberty blockers have been used safely for decades. They were first introduced in the early 1980s to treat precocious puberty. Oh, I got a violation for some reason. Harassment and bullying, guys. I got a little violation. I probably should restart anyways. It's starting to slow down. So I will restart, guys. Maybe I should just change the topic and do something else. Yeah, I don't know. I got a violation for harassment and bullying. I have not gotten a violation in the longest time. This is the first one in like months. Yeah, let me restart, okay? Yeah, I don't know if I want to do the same topic. I do want to do seed oils, but I'm going to have nobody in there. You guys always know I want to do that one. I think I might. I know it's going to piss a lot of you off. Yeah, I was live for 3 hours. I'm gonna do my seed oil one. I'm sorry, guys, for the ones that hate it. I apologize. All right, I'm going to restart.